Mission night on, not in service, mental hibernation. Ah, Christ. Dedicated to all those people on the liberal left who fights against conservative inflicted injustice, and to those who stand up for what they believe in for the sake of humanity and future generations. For the real heroes who protect our communities from conservatives like Gage and others who kill our democracy, steal our human rights, and destroy our civil liberties and freedoms. A shout out to all of the SJWs and the liberal left who Gage continues to hate even after being exposed. Keep fighting the good fight. We love you forever, and thank you for your service. So you're saying it's a public service to whine and complain because someone calls you the wrong gender because they can't tell what gender you are because you don't dress in a way that would indicate you're male or female. And don't say that androgyny is an excuse because most of the time it isn't. Chapter 1, Cass Warfox. Oh, look out, Cass, he's mentioning you now. Cass Warfox is a member of the authoritarian cult known as the GC2, which is, of course, run by its cult leader, Gage. Cass is a stalker who lies, steals, and deceives and slanders others. It's not really stealing things if you post it and people use it for the sole purpose of commentary and critique. Just like how me reading this is for commentary and critique. And it's not slander if it's true. Deceives and lies are the same thing. I don't get why you need to use them in the same context if the words have the exact same definition. Deceit and lie are the same thing. You idiot. I will never understand why you feel the need to talk shit about my ability to comprehend when I read, but you use the same you use words that have the exact same definitions for whatever reason. You need to use synonyms instead of just staying on fucking point. Alright, sorry about that, let's keep going. It is despicable how Cass treats people of color and those who are not conservative like he is. He thinks he is doing a service for his creator and makes up excuses to do evil against humanity. Cass Warfox, conservative YouTuber, is a very violent, arrogant person who does not listen to reason or wisdom. He is stuck in his ways and is proud to start trouble in other people's lives. He blames things on other people for that he's done, and he constantly destroys the character of innocent people, all under the authority of Gage. No. Just because Cass is a friend of mine doesn't mean I'm manipulating him. He was doing the predator hunting thing long before I entered the YouTube screen. So stop trying to make it seem like I'm telling people what to do. The fact that he and I can agree on things and be friends with each other and not be assholes to each other doesn't mean he does everything I say, nor does it mean I do everything he says. It means that we have a mutual respect and understanding for one another. You'd understand that if you could respect or care about anything except yourself. Which you can't. It is disappointing, that even in the 21st century, we still have heartless people who care about their own existence than others. Fools in their own right, Gage and Cass are masterminds behind the corrupted movement of the GC2. Athena the guitarist, conservative YouTuber, have harassed innocent people in videos as well in her videos, yet her videos do not cover the entire agenda of the GC3. Well, make up your mind. Is it GC2 or JC3? Because was this just a typo that you didn't bother to fix? For example, she only talks about two of the victims of the GC2, myself and Jonathan. In these interesting times, Cass decided to start a fraction of the GC2 cult called the Cass Warfox Mafia. In all this, I've learned something while dealing with these people. Never try to negotiate with conservatives because they don't care about you to respect your differences. They are so stuck in their ways that they are a lost cause. That being said, stay away from Gage and his cult because he'll make your life crappy, just like he's done to hundreds of other people who were living their lives in peace until Gage and his hypocrisy-based cult comes into the picture, meddling in other people's lives and bullying them. So I disagree with per se 20 people, and that immediately just jumps to like hundreds of people having their lives destroyed. You're acting like I'm some sort of governmental authority who's barging into people's house, gun drawn, and taking people's income away from them. No one has done this. You stupid prick. Gauge intelligence. You mean gauge is fuckface. Learn how to use possessive and non-possessive nouns. This is embarrassing and painful to read. The fact that my brain is actually correcting what you wrote as I'm reading it should tell you that you have a fuckload of typos if I have to stop to correct it every other paragraph. It's just like his fashion sense, non-existent. Okay, and like, what does that really add to the argument here? That does not mean anything. I am so glad that I am a liberal because there's too much hatred, lies, and disorder in the conservative lifestyle. So in other words, you're glad that you're a paranoid schizophrenic because you can just keep telling yourself that your political affiliation just magically makes your life better. You are literally insane. I could never live with myself knowing that I am responsible for the suffering of others. However, Gage doesn't have remorse for his actions or his attitude. Why should I feel bad for disagreeing with you and calling you an asshole? Which is why he gets in trouble all the time. Which is why you don't prove shit that you say. Homophobia is not a laughing matter, nor is the hatred in Gage heart a laughing matter. I advise everyone who reads this, stand up against Gage and his approval of bullying gay people, calling them faggots. You have my full support of transgender people to live their lives what you want without the authoritarian dictatorship of Gage and conservative who shares his beliefs. You mean who share his beliefs? Share beliefs, not shares beliefs. Again, a lot of these things you could easily just rectify if you actually gave enough of a fuck to actually spell check this shit. But you don't. Because you were so busy trying to rush it out, you didn't bother to actually check to make sure you were spelling things properly. Foolishness within conservative circles is a disease, but conservative forces entering the liberal circle is a pandemic. Gage ideology is a pandemic to the world. And as soon as we administer the cure, wisdom and intelligence, he and his cult will be destroyed. We have victory over Gage and his cult because we are too intelligent to fall into his nonsense. Be inspired to love everyone and unify humanity, and never be inspired to sin against humanity like Gage does. Sin against humanity? Fuck you. Fuck you. You're essentially saying that anyone disagreeing with you or saying anything so much as a harsh word towards anyone at all that molests a child or wants to rape little children, that it's a sin against the human race to call these types of people degenerates and assholes. No, go fuck yourself. Just stuff a lit stick of dynamite up your ass and get it the fuck over with at this point. Seriously, just fuck yourself up the ass with a stick of dynamite till it blows you the fuck to hell. You are so much better than Gage. How do you know? This person could be killing people and murdering people that's reading this somewhere else, and you have no idea if this person's really a better person than anyone else. And more importantly, who the fuck are you to judge? You say you don't judge people, but you're judging someone right now by inherently saying that the reader is immediately better than the person you're bitching about. You fucking hypocrite. You don't need to cover your insecurities with hatred and fake news. Fake news! Everything I don't like is fake news. That's how Stetson does it. You don't have to cover up your homophobia, transphobia, pedophobia. Oh wait, I thought you said pedophilia was not a thing. So why are you using the word pedophobia as a way to describe people being against pedophiles? See, you're contradicting yourself again. This is a written fucking work that you made around the same time that you were saying pedophiles did not exist, but now you're using the word pedophobia as a way to describe bigotry towards pedophiles. And stop including them near trans people or gay people. Leave the gay people and trans people the fuck away from this. You fucking bigot. You're the one trying to equate sick fuck child molesters to gay people and trans people. Fuck you. On behalf of my friends who are gay or transgender, fuck you for doing that. That's fucking nasty. Like gay does. Because. You're not supposed to start the word with because, you dipshit. You are pure and beautiful, while Gage is wicked, vile, hateful, and rude, even if he is not a man enough to admit it. Me. Yeah, I have to just let you talk shit about me. I just have to flagellate myself because I refuse to allow sick fuck child rapists around children. Fuck yourself. Like Blair White, Gage pretends to be something he is not. Oh, okay, so you can decide who is transgender too now. Blair White's transgender. You have no right to say that she isn't. The fact that you try to use your status as a transgender person immediately to say that people can't be what they are because you don't like it doesn't mean a fucking thing. Blair White, conservative YouTuber, keeps claiming to be transgender, yet she is not. How about you fucking prove it, you stupid cunt? You stupid fucking moron. She can't be because she doesn't agree with me because my brain's in backwards. Because no transgender person would ever be a conservative. So you're saying that a transgender person can't like the Second Amendment, can't support the First Amendment, can't be pro-choice, can't do any of these things because you personally don't like what someone says? Fuck yourself. Again, you're typecasting that other people can't be certain things because you decide they can't be. There you are, you're gatekeeping again. If you watch his if you watch his videos, you can see this to be true. How could a transgender person call another trans person a predator unless said transgender person, in this case Blair White, isn't actually transgender? There are plenty of transgender people who called out Jessica Yaniv, you stupid bitch. I mean, same thing with Kai, Onision's husband slash wife, whatever the fuck she is identifies as now. Like, a bunch of people in the transgender community, whether it be left or right, were basically both calling them both fucking predators. So again, stop with this fucking narrative that everything is political, because it isn't. You're just a sick fuck who's into fucking children and he wants to convince himself that if he identifies as a transgender person, he can't be a predator. You're a sick fuck. That's really all you're doing. You're using the trans label as an excuse as to why you think it's okay to fuck little children. You're a nasty fucking shit. Same goes for Gage. How can he say that he is protecting someone when he is hurting and not helping humanity? Fuck you, child rapist. The very people who he claims to be helping are the same people who he is racist, bigoted, hateful, transphobic, homophobic, and evil against. Here's the thing. I've never once said that I hated the gay or transgender community. I've never once attacked any particular ethnicity. If I call you ugly, it is not because of your ethnicity or how you identify. It's because you are ugly inside and out. Gage is contradicting himself left and right, and he is only interested in his own delusional agenda, not the interest of humanity. And you know what the interest of humanity is? Here's the thing, the human race is a collective, but the collective have different people within its population that think different things and feel different things about different ideas. So you can't speak on behalf of the population either way. No one can. That's what I'm hearing right now. I'm just hearing re. Don't agree with me, then re until you agree with me, or he will re. Which is why more people favor the LGBT plus community instead of the conservative right. It's a shame that people like Gage exist on this earth, and these people are the reason why our society is falling apart. No, the reason our society falls apart is because we have fucking retarded morons like you who assign themselves a gender and decide to use that gender or that gender identity as an excuse to do terrible shit to other people. And when people are no longer allowed to hold them accountable because they identify as a protected class, it kind of shows that the protected class now has extra rights instead of fair rights. Conservatives are masters of lies and deception. What is this? Like, are you trying to compare people to the fucking devil, who's the father of lies? Here's the thing, even though I'm not religious, I still remember the monikers that they would give Lucifer, aka Samael. They only have one agenda, and that is to kill, steal, and destroy. They will say it to trigger your emotional state in order to control you. They act like they love you, but inside their hearts, they only see you as a tool to push their agenda. There is no real love in the hearts and minds of the Republican Party and conservatives as a whole. So what you're saying, fuckhead, is that because people don't agree with you, and because people don't see things in your funny Disneyland way, that they don't have the capacity to love or care about another human being. Despite the fact that a lot of these people have husbands or wives, and they do love these other human beings in their life, and they do value them and care about them, but even though they have all these interpersonal relationships that matter significantly to them, you're just gonna keep pretending that they don't, because it would suit you if you pretend these people were just like psionic fucking robots who couldn't feel anything, who were devoid of the capacity to feel emotions, because then it makes it so much easier for you to feel better about assassinating people's fucking character like an asshole. I mean, that's really what you do. You're just basically dehumanizing another person simply because they espouse a difference in opinion, and not because their opinion actually poses a legitimate threat to others if it were made a reality. I mean, really. Again, you might as well just title this like the novelization. They show no remorse for their infliction of hatred on you. They hate change, freedom of speech and expression, and open mind. Dude, you are the one that goes out of his way to say that any speech that makes you feel any bit mad should immediately be removed from whatever platform it occupies. You have no right. You have no right at all to say that a person is immediately trying to pose a threat to someone's ability to say what they feel. If you're the one that's like actively trying to censor people, you fucking idiot. They are against the truth and are jealous of non-conservatives who succeed. I love how you're just projecting the ever-loving shit out of things. They hate equality, immigrants, anyone who is not just like them. You mean like how you hate white people, but you don't have the balls to say that. Why then would anyone with the intelligent mindset vote for Donald Trump or anyone Republican? They don't care about you. Look how Donald Trump treats Mexicans. He supports locking people in cages for their ethnicity, attacking the LGBT+ community, insulting the international community, and will even murder you to get their agenda across. Wake up, people! The conservatives are out to get you, and if you don't arm yourself with knowledge to defend your human rights, they will kill you. No, here's the thing. A human right is the right to be treated like a person. That does not mean you're excused to do whatever the fuck you want to whoever you want, whyever you want, wherever you want. There are laws that every person has to abide by. You don't get to bend the rules just because you now identify as a protected class. This goes for anyone. And if you can't understand that, I don't know what to tell you except get the fuck over yourself. The weird part is the whole people in cages thing has been going on since late 2015. But no one said jack shit about it until Trump was in office. Why? Because they needed someone to pin the fucking blame on. I mean, seriously, people have been locked up in cages and shit by ICE, even when Obama was still in office. I mean, do you really see anyone doing shit about that at all? Not really, no. Just like gays murder two people to push an agenda. Yeah, you know, if someone's attacking you and you defend yourself, and there's no way for you to get your friend to safety because they have a bad leg and they're in a bad part of the area where there's no way to get to law enforcement in time that won't risk your own safety, remember, you're a bad person for defending yourself in a bad situation where you might not have had any other choice because you didn't do karate moves and make them go away with the Hamehameha. Like it's fucking DBZ and you're gonna fucking just blast them away with a key blast or some shit. You should have just let them hurt you. That would have been friendly. Yeah, you know, you should just let someone, like, choke you out and then do who knows what to your friend with a bum leg who couldn't fight them back and escape if they needed to. That's what you should do. You should just let people do whatever the fuck they want to you. Because at least then you're not violent. Conservative wants to get rid of your intellectual property rights. No. Being able to criticize your shit is not the same thing as saying you don't have a right to your own IPs. They ordered the burning of books and censorship of our libraries, our lifestyle choices, and our beliefs. They promote the police state in America. They are heartless in their message, and they will come up with any excuse that they can to have you fail. Have you ever thought that the reason that you fail in particularly is because nothing you say is actually nuanced or thought out or actually true or reasonable? I mean, this is actually so painful to read that my fucking vocabulary is starting to liquefy itself trying to process this level of autism. I mean, you're essentially saying that anyone that doesn't agree with you is immediately the same as some sort of crazy religious fanatic book-burning asshole. That makes no sense to say that at all, because no one is actually saying that books should be burned. Gauge words are never taken out of context in any of these books. Yes, they are. In fact, you do it quite frequently. You replace very select words in a statement that I say, so that you can try to make me look bad. When I say that pedophiles are not good people because they molest children, you change pedophile for drag queen or transgender person. And you do this all the time. You make it abundantly clear that you're not willing to be honest about what a person says. You won't say what they say verbatim, because if the person makes a statement that a lot of people will agree with, you get upset with that, because you know you can't spin it in your narrative. You're like the CNN of shitty publication writers. Except less intelligent and even more retarded. And Fox is stupid as hell in its own set of ways. His words are taken with the gravity that it deserves. And it is presented exactly how Gage has presented it. Gage is destroying his own reputation, and I'm just reporting it as it is. His love of picking out capital letters in books blinds him from fully understanding that his context of existence is understandably and completely clear. That his context of existence. What does that even mean? Context doesn't apply to existence. Context applies to a situation in terms of how a situation is laid out. Your sentence structure sucks so much ass. The context is that Gage is a hateful individual who hates drag queens, transgender people, liberals, and the LGBTP plus community. I can hear Gage mocking them with his whining voice like he always does in his ignorance. No, it's just the fact is you keep trying to add an extra letter into that community just so you can keep making sick fuck child molesters equivalent to transgender people, lesbian people, gay people, or bisexual people. And quite frankly, I think it's a disservice to those people. I think it's an insult to the gay community, the lesbian community, the bisexual and transgender communities. It's an insult to them because you're trying to essentially equate them to a bunch of sick fuck child rapists. Fuck yourself. He has proven this in his YouTube videos, in his comments on social media. He exposed himself in his response videos on his YouTube channel, Gage the Doom Guy. If anything, Gage has exposed himself for Halo conservative who make up excuses and fake words in order to excuse his evil against the LGBTP plus community. And the fact that he mocks the LGBTP plus community and chooses to lie about his true intentions of the destruction of said community, he proves a hateful agenda of the GC2 cult. Again, if you took a shot every time he tries to use the LGBT as an excuse as to why someone else is a bigot, you'd be shit-faced in 2 pages. By the end of the book, you'd have to go to the hospital for alcohol poisoning. Before these books came out, Gage was an expert in the cover-up game. No, it's just the fact that I legitimately don't hold any prejudice against other races or anyone that's gay, bisexual, transgender, or lesbian. I don't hold any real prejudice towards people that are not doing anything wrong. He could say and do anything evil against you and delete his comments so that it can't be traced back to him. Have you ever thought that the reason I don't make those kinds of comments is because those comments were not mine, you fucking idiot? I mean, holy shit, you're the one that constantly needs... Like, you straight up thought that Bo Daniels posing as me was me because you're that fucking desperate for ammunition. I mean, you'll straight up take someone lying about someone that you don't like at face value and believe it because you need to believe lies about someone to make them look bad, just so you can keep telling yourself you're not the fucking problem. That's fucking sad. However, in this day and time, there are watchdogs who monitor Gage and his cult, which includes Stephen Trowbridge, a fake gay person who pretends to be gay in order to tear down the community from the inside out. Damien and others. Here's the thing, Steve actually is gay. Why would someone pretend to be gay just to fuck with you? That wouldn't make sense. There's no point in doing that, because that'd be a pointless measure. You idiot. Is that your whole idea? Like, everyone has to be pretending what they are? They have to just pretend to be something else so that you believe it? Is that your argument? Like, everyone's doing this all for you? Do you have this bullshit delusion that the world just revolves around you, and that anyone that disagrees with you has to be faking what they are in terms of their orientation or their beliefs? Because if not, it would just destroy your comprehension of reality if they were truly proven to be gay or bisexual. What is interesting is that Gage continues his charade of regrettable illogical action against humanity, knowing full well there are people out there who are, next page, just waiting for him to slip up, as Gage is known to do on a daily basis. Gage does not live in reality, but a fantasy world that he has fabricated because of his mental conditioning. Is that your only argument, fuckhead? You keep saying that everyone else is living in a delusion because you're the one that's doing that? Chapter 2, a Jimmy Swaggart copycat. Despite the fact that I actually heavily disagree and condemn a lot of mainstream religions because they're essentially glorified cults. Now, do I think it's wrong for people to believe in a god? No. But do I think it's wrong to have homophobic and psychotic views when it comes to basically condemning another person for thinking differently or just not being born a certain way? Yeah. I think it's kind of fucked up that people hold those views. That's why I'm heavily against the Westboro Baptist Church. That's why I'm heavily against traditional Islam. And I said traditional Islam. If someone actually wants to embrace Islam and say that no more Sharia law, no more female genital mutilation, no more child marriage, no more killing people in the LGBT, then welcome aboard. Then I will welcome you with open arms. If you are willing to shed the violent tenets of a religion or any sort of the pedophilic or psychotic like mutilation parts of a religion, I will embrace you with open arms. But if you're going to practice that shit and actually hurt someone else because a book told you to do it thousands of years ago, that was probably written by some psycho who was tripping out in the desert as a result of not having water for days, then stay the fuck away from me. No human being, both dead or alive or dead, deserves to be hated or receive such evil from idiots like Gage and his cult. Well, what about people like Adolf Hitler, Mao Zedong, Pol Pot? Like people who killed millions of fucking people. Would you say that those people do not deserve to be hated for the horrible shit they've done to others? I mean, me calling you a dipshit on the internet is far less severe than per se killing millions of people. Nothing that he says is reality, and listening to the conservatives like Gage is a dangerous act. So listening to me when I say it's not okay to rape little children is merely the same thing as listening to like legitimate propaganda. Foolishness is a curse to the soul, and Gage is foolish to the core. Blow me. Besides the fact Gage's choice of clothing shows how clearly he does not know how to take care of himself, he also does not know how to admit he is wrong. Again, to admit when you're wrong would actually imply that you would have to be wrong in the first place, would it not? I know that he is wrong. The LGBTP community knows that he's wrong. Yet, the only person who believes he is right is Gage himself. Actually, a lot of people believe that I'm right about a few things. They don't necessarily agree with me on all my viewpoints, but there are a few viewpoints that people that listen to me, people that watch me regularly, can at least say, you know what, that right there, he has a point. Even if I don't like what he says, even if I don't agree with him, and I may find him to be a little bit of an obnoxious person at times, what he's saying has a point. It's a truly sad way to live life. This coming from the same fucking person who has essentially spent his life bouncing from homeless shelter to homeless shelter because he doesn't care enough about himself to get a job. Where you are so deep in the hole that you can't tell what's up or what's down. He is so deep in it that he keeps digging the hole in his life by making pathetic lame excuses for hating humanity. Again, disliking certain people in the population because they do terrible shit to other people does not mean that I hate the entire human race, you stupid fuck. I can't imagine being so fucking dumb that when someone talks about a specific group of people who do specific things to others, and you immediately need to make it about every person alive, despite the fact the person has actually specifically said that not everyone falls into that category. He's been doing this all of his life, and I feel sorry for the fool. Oh, I'm so sorry. Go fuck yourself. You don't give a shit. I pity the fool who wastes their lives hurting others, then lies about it like Gage does. Jimmy Swaggart wannabe like Gage lies through his teeth and out his bum. Just say talks out of his ass. Okay, you're not British. Shut the fuck up. Stop using European terms and phrases like gob, bloody, and bum. You're a fucking moron who can't keep his own dialect consistent. Seriously, it almost sounds like you're trying to write this posing as someone else, but you're so stupid and moronic in terms of not being able to stick to character that you break character and immediately word things the way you normally do, like a spaz. Christ. All to get you to sell your soul to the devil alongside them. The devil doesn't exist. They make money off of your suffering and build cities and nations on the bones of your dead loved ones. This is what conservative like Gage does. For Gage victimized me for 2 long years for nothing more than myself calling him out for his bullying and harassment of innocent people in the LGBTP plus community and for being intelligent and Asian. There's nothing intelligent about constantly telling yourself you're always right in situations where you never prove that you're right. And I don't care about your nationality or your ethnic background. If you were a white dude doing this, you'd still be made fun of all the same, okay? It's not the same thing. The fact that you're so fucking dumb you need to make it about race proves that you're the fucking racist. MLCA was victimized by Gage and his cult for just being Asian and for proving them wrong in their ideology that humanity is too retarded to have sex. No, it's not a matter of being mentally handicapped. It's a matter of a person not being alive long enough to properly develop the life experience to determine whether or not they feel comfortable during a certain act or not. You are in no such position to decide when people are ready. That is for them to decide when they've matured enough to make up their own mind. There is so much hatred in the heart and mind of Gage. This transgender hater who states, "You're not transgender, it's just you," and denies humanity and the right to be transgender like myself, clearly still thinks that his response video somehow justifies evil works, just by how Gage describing his views of my book somehow makes him innocent of his crimes against, next page, humanity. Sadly for him, none of those notions are true. I am transgender woman, male to female, so even if Gage is just insulting and hating me, which is still wrong, and because he has no right to do it in the first place, that whether I am transgender or not, he is still insulting and hating transgender people because I am transgender. You don't speak for everyone. You never have. You speak for yourself. If someone breaks my window and they're wearing a red hat, and I don't like that person specifically because they broke my window, does that mean I automatically hate everyone who's also wearing a red hat, you stupid prick? God, you're such a fucking retard. It's like, for whatever reason, you can't hold yourself accountable for your actions, and you make it always about everyone else. So the logic of humanity defeats the delusions that are the foundation of Gage insanity, because Gage's foundation lifestyle is corrupted at best, and the building built on it is being low. How he lives his life will collapse at any moment, meaning that the destruction is coming for the life of Gage, aka karma, because most people who he has hurt and instigated trouble with, however, like myself, my foundation lifestyle is sturdy and secure. Building with the building and meaning of how I live my life, I will last for many generations. No, it won't, because you're probably going to die without procreating, because realistically, no one's going to want to bear your fucking hideous little bastard chud of children. Seriously, no one's going to want to carry your seed. For plenty of reasons, despite the fact that you look like some horrible genetic deformation crawled out of a lake. Meaning that Gage's success will falter and fail, but where he fails, I succeed, where his spoils will be mine, as compensation for my suffering. Same goes for the rest of the victims of Gage. The voices of the victims are loud and strong against Gage. He has only himself to blame for his downfall. There is only so much to do for help him. I can do to help him before I even myself run out of resources. These books, documents, and Francis Swagger attitude exist within Gage. So that I'm better. Okay, next page. Than humanity, and you're all going to hell except for my cult and myself, mentally is known to conservative circles, the same circle that Gage is a part of. Why he chooses to be hateful and pointless lifestyle is unclear. However, research has shown that people like Gage have a mental imbalance, meaning Gage does not think before he speaks, nor does he care about the negative consequences of his actions. Like when Gage called writers autistic slanderers for being liberals, when he calls gay people faggots, when he makes lame excuses as to why people support why people should support his homophobia, or his hatred of Black Lives Matters, or his belief that injustice, aka the death of innocent people, is justified in world events, aka the end times. I never once said any of those fucking things. I love how you're just blatantly taking what I said and just ripping it up and then putting your own words in it, which is funny as hell. If not, just a little sad. Why Gage wants the end of the world so bad is because of the fact that life is mediocre at best. Look at his hair, look at his clothes, and look at his attitude towards life. He has no loving relationship with anyone. All Gage constantly lies about his make-believe relationship with Kate, which is proven in the number one code, Book Part 1, to be a bunch of hogwash because the GC2 investigation showed evidence of verbal abuse. His family is afraid of him. He doesn't know what love is, and doesn't care what love is. All Gage wants is revenge against the world. Revenge against the world? For not being conservative like him, which doesn't hurt me any because Gage is the one who is suffering consequences like all this misdeeds being exposed, his reputation ruined, and many of his videos deleted. Gage has brought nothing but a curse to himself and his family, yet Gage doesn't see the evidence all around him because he is blinded by the false hope that he will win a failing war that is already won by the liberals and the left. Despite the fact that I legitimately don't care what fucking political affiliation you hold because you're just a dick in general. Capitalism has failed. Socialism is beneficial to humanity. Dealing with it, yet Gage somehow has a problem with change and holds up onto a past. that no longer exists. Gage's failure stems from his lack of knowledge and how to stop living in the past and start living in the 21st century. His outdated beliefs, dated as far back as the 13th and 14th century, is a contradiction of modern progress, so nobody on this planet is the problem except for Gage and his beliefs. Despite the fact that I openly support marijuana legalization, I'm pro-choice, I support the LGBT community, I support mental health evaluations, like, despite the fact that I support all these really progressive things that are meant to improve society and make things better for everyone, you keep saying, even though you do all these other things, the fact that you don't agree with what I want you to makes you a conservative. That just proves how mentally feeble you are. Chapter 3, Gage keeps harassing me. Yeah, you know, when you when you essentially write a whole bunch of libelistic bullshit about someone over and over again, it's always the other person's fault, but never yours. You incompetent prick. Gage harassment is nothing new. His incompetence has no bounds. It has been going on for over 2 years. I was over Gage harassment 2 years ago, but as we know, Gage loves attention and being noticed. Nobody has ever harassed Gage, but Gage has harassed everybody. Yeah, you know, when you go to someone's Facebook and essentially start accosting them when a member of their family fucking dies. Yeah, I'm sure that has nothing at all to do with why people don't like you. Like, nothing, except for all of it. When you start making, like, really fucked up assertions about sexual assault not being a thing that people go through. When you start making all those really retarded ass judgment calls where you start trying to speak on behalf of others when you can't even really comprehend what you're speaking on behalf of yourself. I never want to harass Gage. Gage lies and says I do, but we all know Gage can't be trusted. Gage can't ever be trusted, but Gage has hatred for me being transgender, told me to kill myself, cursed me and swore at me, and verbally abused me multiple times. So it is Gage who is harassing me, not the other way around. It would be so easy if Gage just got up and left YouTube, fixed his life, and started anew. But, like anyone who knows Gage left instigating trouble and stirring up drama. No matter how many times I say go away and leave me alone, Gage continues to pop up for no reason and make me a target of his transphobic conservatism, hate speech. Oh no. Fuck you. Against myself and the LGBT plus community. It was people like Gage who keep humanity from moving forward towards a better future. A future of peace and sustainability where solving real issues are put in front of fake news agendas like what Gage is pushing. Racism is non-existent. You mean non-existent? Like none, as in none, and then existent. Like, instead of non-existent, he just made it two separate words, where he could have just made it a compound word, non-existent. And love is free for all to enjoy. Where division among humanity is dead, but our equality is alive and prospering. World peace is attainable, but if the conservatives like Gage is in charge, we are all good as dead. If Gage gets his way, then life as we know it will cease to exist in a bad way. He will divide our families, treat humanity like animals, and bring back Nazi Germany-style treatment to the entire world. This is what conservatives do, and this is what they do best. Despite the fact that I have demonstrated no instance of supporting Nazism in any way, and despite that I've openly admonished the thought of anyone being discriminated or attacked based upon their race. You are so fucking stupid. As a person, you are a really dumb fuck. Gage's actions are self-destructive and self-harming. For one thing, he denies himself access to a real education, which hurts his mental capacity and brain functionality. Gage doesn't take care of himself, which hurts his self-esteem. Which is also one of the many reasons why he bullies people at random who are not conservative for no logical reason. He hurts others and puts his life in danger of an attack from someone else. He believes that lying is justified, which is hurting his chances to make actual friends and his trustworthiness in the outside community. Gage is always filled with hate, which causes stress on his body and can lead him to have heart problems and other health complications in the near future. Gage is a ticking time bomb, and one day he will kick the bucket, die, for something that could have been easily avoided with wisdom, knowledge, and education. Gage is destroying himself, but is too stupid and blind to see it. You have no right to sit there and judge anyone, or look at someone else, and say that they are somehow likely to die for stress and issues that are caused by them. when you're the one that's actually trying to impose this stress on them, you fucking prick. I mean, really, all you're doing is trying to impose stress upon someone that so that they do have these outbursts. That's what you do. You're trying to retroactively cause problems for someone else in their life by inserting yourself into it, or at least trying to pretend that you have any right to talk shit about anyone. Gage acts like a retard and preys on the LGBTP plus community in order to fuel his fix for hating said community, which is a shame because the LGBTP plus community never did anything wrong to Gage or anyone, which shows that Gage should be in a mental institution instead of a general populace. Because he's a danger to himself and others, he does not understand the difference between right and wrong and will harm others when he is challenged when someone has a different opinion than his. Gage is equal to the likes of the Nazis who invaded Poland. Only those who are privileged conservative privileges are allowed to live their lives in peace, while everyone else deserves to die at the hands of the next page. Conservatives, aka liberal holocausts, like KKK, make excuses for hating black people. Gage makes excuses for hating the LGBTP plus community, Muslims, black people, etc. And it shows where Gage's priorities lie. Again, you're calling me a fucking racist again with no evidence. Come on, man. Can you actually prove what the fuck you say? No? You can't? Okay. I thought you thought you'd be able to like try to prove what you say before you say that kind of shit, but guess not. Chapter 4. The GC2 and you. What is this like? Gun safety and you. There is so much to gain from intelligence and a good education. The sky's the limit when you have wisdom and a sound mind. Those with wisdom will have much better lives than the foolish ones. We are all created equal, but foolishness is the destruction of the nation. So it's not surprising that see people like Gage who are ruining democracy, free will, and equality, all for an ideological narrative that does not exist or is corrupted within its own existence. The error of Gage's lifestyle is dramatic, but it is all connected to Gage's foolishness, which stems from his lack of knowledge, which is a curse to his very existence, which all started because Gage is too stubborn to get an education. What kind of education, bitch boy? You're essentially saying that everyone's stupid compared to you. Getting an education is basically just your way to say that they're stupid and talk down to them because you're too fucking dumb to understand that most of the people you talk down to are smarter than you. I mean, you don't research politics, you don't research private policy, you don't research public policy, you don't give a damn about anything except being able to tell people that they're stupid or wrong. You don't prove a fucking thing that you say at any point in time. Nowhere in the tragic lineup of events does any of that have to do with things that are my doing. Gage made the choice to be foolish, Gabe made the choice to bully others, and Gage made the choice to allow the devil into his life. Oh, the devil, guys, the devil, that thing that doesn't exist. The devil doesn't exist. The devil is a metaphor for the darker side of human nature, and the fact that you are so fucking crazy and stupid that you need to keep attributing people's dislike and antagonism towards you to some sort of ethereal, fictional, deistic figure proves that you're the fucking lunatic and not the other way around. The best thing for Gage to do is dedicate his life to internal change and to free his mind of malicious thoughts, ideas, and suggestions. He needs to replace his hypocrisy with wisdom and his false ideology with the truth, aka an education. Of course, Gage thinks that getting an education is a form of brainwashing by the liberal left. I never once suggested that it was a brainwashing by anyone. I'm just saying that if someone subverts their entire mentality to a way that someone as mentally fucked up as you says, then it kind of sounds like you're trying to indoctrinate people instead of simply allowing them to read it from their own perspective and make their own conclusions. Which is interesting and contradictory to the truth, because Gage and the GC2 are the ones who are due to brainwashing of those not mentally strong enough to denounce Gage ill-willed advances and suggestive requests to join to gain access to your mind. How am I requesting to gain access to someone's mind if I simply put content out for public consumption and people find it enjoyable or cathartic? Like, if people enjoy watching me make fun of you because of the stupid shit you do and the crazy shit you say and the really bombastic, insane things you do, why is it my fault that you decide to make yourself a walking, talking circus? The mind is a terrible thing to waste, so don't waste it on Gage on his sets and his YouTube videos. If you do what is best for you, if you are intelligent, then you will know that the best for your well-being. Stay away from Gage, and if you are subscribed to Gage, the Doom Guy channel, Streaming Doom Guy, or both, unsubscribe now! Unsubscribe! Unsubscribe from this person I don't like, or I'm gonna throw a fucking tantrum like a stupid bitch. Seriously, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you're on the verge of throwing a fucking temper tantrum. Unsubscribe from this person I can't like. Or you can maybe just accept the fact that people will have the right to have their own opinions and they don't have to like what you like or agree with what you say. Bye. Okay, turn the page. Subscribing to Game's channel, you are supporting the GC2 who believes oppression is beneficial to those who the GC2 does not like. I mean, don't like. Does not like makes no sense in that context, fuckface. They believe that individuality should be a crime and that we as human beings should be forced to all be the same. They want to purify the human race in order to create a superior race, aka the universal white race. I love how you're just immediately assuming that by saying it's not okay to fuck little children, you immediately say that, well, it's the same thing as neo-Nazism and fucking, it's the same thing as genocide. You dumb son of a fucking bitch. I am amazed that you're so fucking stupid and crazy that you immediately equate not being a child fucker to white supremacy. God damn, you are stupid. You are really that fucking stupid and crazy that you say it's not okay to fuck little children and oh, Nazi. Like, you can't just say, okay, it's not okay to do this, and they're not bad. It's like, no, if you say this, you're immediately a Nazi. You fucking asshole. If you are their slaves, they will exempt you from their torment, but they will bring back segregation in our society. What? What the fuck is wrong with you? If you like any of Game's videos, then unlike them. Okay, so what you're saying is if they like what they like, they can't like it anymore because you say someone's a racist because they call you an asshole. By liking his videos, you are supporting bullying, harassment, or transgender people, racism, persecution, and those who are different, slander, etc. because this isn't what Gage believes and supports. If you don't want to comment on his videos, then fine, but don't be a yes man or a sellout. So what you're saying is that if people can agree that it's not okay to rape children, it immediately makes them a sellout. Call Gage out for his crap and stand firm on your values for the human rights of others. The very things that Gage hates. Again. Just keep lying. That's all you've done so far is lie, and it's kind of sad to see how much you lie about nothing. If lying was an Olympic sport, you'd have a gold medal by now. Gage is jealous of my genius and my intelligence. Clearly this is the case, because he wouldn't be insulting my intelligence and instead would join forces. Why would I join forces with a sick fuck pedophile apologist? In the better good of the world. But Gage is selfish and envious of others. He wants to be number one, but his ways of getting there is corrupted. He thinks that success just means to just yell louder than everyone else. Then, when it doesn't work for him, he gets mad at everyone else. Gage thinks that everyone should just give him respect, even though he treats people like crap. Respect is given, not earned, so Gage needs to respect others with no excuse, and they can respect him. Well, wait a minute. If respect is given, not earned, then why would I be obligated to earn respect by not saying things that you don't like? You're contradicting yourself. Because the concept of respect being given, not earned, means that everyone is inherently given respect immediately, and therefore no one would be obligated to stop doing anything to get respect because they've already have it. You idiot. Ah, Christ on a bike. Respect is given, not needs respect. Let's see, other excuses. Let's see. In case you were wondering, yes, I do have a higher IQ than Gage and everyone in this cult. I am smarter than Gage. Amity is smarter than Gage. My cat is smarter than Gage. What a joke that Gage intelligence is. He thinks that somehow calling people names in a video, somehow people make people like him. What a fool. Well, people do enjoy a lot of my put-downs. They do enjoy the fact that I mock the fact that your brain is so fucking small that if a gnat could use it as a weight, like there's a gnat that could use your brain as an athletic cup. People enjoy the fact that when I insult your intelligence, I usually compare you to a gnat or a tree frog or something stupid that's completely incapable of its own understanding its own existence because you are so fundamentally incapable of self-awareness that you don't know what's going on. That's the sad part. You're so fucking stupid. I mean, really, you're just saying that everyone's stupid. I don't hate Gage. However, Gage is impossible to get along with. He is mentally unstable and easily motivated for violence over the most simplest things. Yeah, you know, when you say that people having friends who were sexually assaulted didn't happen to them, that the pain they went through, that the emotional trauma they went through, and the psychological pain that they went through was all a bunch of bullshit, made up fairy tale nonsense. Yeah, it totally. I don't understand why people would not like that, guys. I don't understand why degrading someone's suffering and emotional trauma and treating it like it's nothing more but just a word. I don't know why people would ever be upset with me doing that. That's exactly how you sound. You're like the dude that burns his own house down but is confused when the fire department shows up. Most of the things are just around in misunderstanding facts. It's not a fact just because you say it. The world is just changing and is leaving Gage and his cult behind. Yet Gage hasn't realized that all of these books are about him only and not me. They are about you. Because they're all about you needing to twist reality to some extent or another just so it fits whatever narrative you try to ascribe. Whenever someone says that you're an asshole, you immediately make it about race or whatever you identify as instead of about your behavior. It kind of shows that you're obsessed with these things and you refuse to peel yourself away from them because you need to use them as a shield so that you don't have to take accountability for your beliefs or your behaviors. So Gage is the only one who still believes that age exists, despite the fact that we have doctors and scientists and historians that all use these things as benchmarks to determine a person's maturity or when a time period has existed. Humanist conservatives are the only ones stupid enough to believe in a retarded ideological fake news system of age. Age never existed, and even after Gage dies, it will never exist. Which is why you don't debunk it by actually explaining why it wouldn't exist. That's the thing. It's all show, don't tell. Or in this case, it's all tell, don't show. I would consider what Gage says if Gage showed respect and was actually intelligent enough to hold an argument that didn't involve violent language and racial slurs. Calling you a fish is not a racial slur just because you're ugly. Let's see. It would also make knowing Gage more bearable if he would just admit that everything what everyone else already knows. We all know that Gage hates drag queens. No, I don't. There is no question about it. He's even admitted that he said, I hate drag queens, and went off on a tirade about how drag queens hurt people. No, I said pedophiles hurt people, fuckface. And no, it's called tirade, not tyrant. A tyrant is a ruler that has tyrannical rule, which is an unreasonable and unfair control, mostly a king. So again, instead of I hate pedophiles, you changed it to drag queens. You did change. You said you didn't take anything I say out of context one chapter ago. You just did. Drag queens are way better than Gage because they show respect towards people and don't make other people's lives hell because they are trying to protect their corrupted attitude towards people who are not like them. Shut the fuck up, you retarded child rapist. Luckily, most people are not like Gage and his cult, and they know how to be human and intelligent. They can make funny YouTube videos and laugh about life. They can respect other people's religion, sexual preferences, and lifestyle choices, and hold a civilized conversation without calling them racist terms like fish. Excuse me, and then try to justify racism as a good thing. Again, calling you stupid and retarded does not have anything to do with your race and everything to do with your behavior. There are such things that Gage does against humanity. Yet instead of apologizing like an actual human being, he freaks out like a criminal and rambles about nothing and nonsense that just gets into more trouble. 8 books have been written about his monstrosities. Yet no books have been written about Gage doing a service to humanity. That's how bad this situation has gone. At least the LGBTB plus community. I can find thousands of good things to say about them, yet with Gage, nothing because Gage is a grouchy, angry, bitter, hostile, racist person with no happiness in his life. Yeah, you know, it's racist to call you a fish because you look ugly, despite the fact that no one on the fucking planet has ever defined that as a racial slur except you fucking retard. Here's the thing. If you decide to assign a racist definition to what someone else says, that doesn't make it racist. It has to have a history of being a racial slur before you can call it a racial slur. And you can't call it a racial slur if it's towards a race that you are not. Gage biased lifestyle is just the starting point of the downfall of the spiral which is Gage's life. Gage enjoys hating people. It is how this breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can see how many videos of hate that Gage made on YouTube. Desmond is amazing drag queen YouTuber has none. Amos Eve, philosopher, life coach, motivational speaker has none. I have none. Oh, but I don't swear at people, so I'm better. Desmond doesn't swear at people, so he's better. Amos doesn't swear at people, so he better. My first thought is go fuck yourself, get the fuck over yourself, fuck you, and fuck all of them. Yet Gage has 26 and counting. It would baffle you as anyone has the time to hate the LGBTP plus community, yet can't even wash his hair. Gage has managed to do so. His evil hypocrisy is who he is. That's what he does. Gage is up to no good, and no amount of YouTube videos will save him from his fate. Oh, what are you gonna do, bitch boy? You gonna lie about me some more? Do it, and see how stupid you look. Chapter 5, quoting Gage verbatim. Okay, I doubt you're really quoting me verbatim, but let's see. Every last word that I quote from Gage is taken in the exact context that Gage indeed had intended it to be. It may be racist, hateful, and anti-human based context, but nevertheless, I have never taken anything Gage or any conservative have said out of context. Except the part where you did, like, 2 pages ago. You fucking liar. However, Gage is a liar, so he will change the context of what he says in order to try to cover up his verbal hate crimes, viciously racial slur against Asians, and the fact that Gage has made excuses for his wrongdoing instead of simply apologizing shows he is defending racism, and therefore Gage is a hardcore racist. Also, seeing how human beings are not fish, clearly Gage is pushing the acceptance of racism on YouTube and social media. Calling you ugly because you look like a trout is not the same thing as actually screaming racial slurs at someone, you idiot. Gage is only a fool, whether he admits to it or not. The world has not enough evidence as to why I am the victim of Gage, and why the other way switches my words around and takes me out of context. No, I don't. You straight up said that pedosexuals, aka pedophiles, were good people. That's what you said. You also said that child molestation was not a thing. You said that rape was not a thing. You said consent was not a thing. So basically, you condone rape. And child molestation. Good job. And he lies constantly. Gage is one hateful son of a bitch. Why don't you just say son of a bitch? Why do you need to use the acronym? Her only job is to make people suffer who do not submit to the order of the DJO conservative ideology. Gage hates you and enjoys hating you. However, I enjoy exposing the conservatives to the millions of people all over the world who deserve to know the truth about people in their neighborhood who are actually doing real harm. Yeah, you know, like some sick fuck running around molesting children, not a real threat. Me calling some retard a fish on the internet, that deserves the wide press, guys. The problem isn't foreigners or the LGBTP plus community, who Gage also hates. It's the conservative Gage, including the destruction of our families, our neighborhoods, our schools, our homes. Nobody is safe from Gage or his cult. When have I ever attacked schools or people's communities or homes or anyone's neighborhoods? So what you're saying is, for example, that if I walked around and I put like a poster out warning people that there was like a serial rapist running around, would I be destroying your community by warning people that there's a rapist running around? What about children that were being kidnapped or disappearing? If I started saying straight up like, dude, be careful, someone's kidnapping your children in this area, please be on the lookout for some weird shit, and please notify the police immediately. Would you qualify that as destroying a neighborhood if I'm legitimately concerned for the well-being of others? The people of Michigan should be on high alert of Gage, a Trump supporter and a proud supporter of the Make America Great Again movement. When did I ever say I supported that idea? Ever. At all. What the fuck are you talking about, you psychotic little lunatic? Like, I have a question. Do you just tune out whenever you start writing these things and you just start following your own delusion wherever you think it'll lead you? You idiot. Gage is a perfect example of what people in American world should not become. We need the world need globalization, not you mean needs globalization, not isolation. We need wisdom, not failure. We need peace, not war. Gage is all about violence and destruction of the family. How? I, however, am all about unity and peace. Gage believes in the LGBT is something to be laughed at and mocked and blamed and slandered. No, I believe that child predators should be killed. That's not the same thing as attacking the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community. And the fact that you keep taking what I say out of context and intentionally ignoring what I've said before proves that you're the liar here. I believe that LGBT lives matter and that human beings, they deserve recognition, respect, and the love they deserve. I believe that a person is deserving of the basic common human decency, and what a person does to someone else either lessens or graders or increases their value as a person. But you don't have any value as a person, not because of your race, not because of how you identify, but because you're just a legitimate trash human being. Because I care about the people, even though they think differently than you. I care about Gage, but he hates me to the core of his questionable soul. Why does he hate me? Because I am liberal, transgender Asian who is friends with the enemy Amos Yee, so because I am friends with their enemy, they would make me the enemy as well? No, it's because you're just a legitimately shitty person who supports child rape, molestation. You support rape as a concept. You don't think rape is a problem because you don't think it's a thing. You don't think consent is a thing. So if someone's being raped, to you it's just consensual sex, even if they're fighting back and they're trying to get away from their attacker. Let's face it, you're basically just a pseudo-rapist. Sadly for Gage and the others, the world does not function like that. Just because I have friends, which I can't say the same for Gage, speak for yourself, bitch, does not mean I'm a bad person. Yeah, you are. You're mentally unwell for multiple reasons, but you don't want to admit it. You can't project your mental transgressions on others and make them the problem over something that they had no connection to. That's the madness which Gage is famous for to the core. I have no connection whatsoever to Gage's belief system. I do not stand for what Gage thinks says that I stand for. Yeah, you do. You're a pedophile advocate. You're a pedophile advocate. You've supported pedophilia. And you've openly had playlists of shit that might suggest you could be a pedophile yourself. Which makes Gage a liar. I never claimed anything that Gage said I claimed. Yeah, you do. You straight up said that pedophiles should be allowed to fuck children. You denied that children were a thing. And you support rape. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to reiterate that multiple times during this because you've done all these things. Everything that Gage has said about me is made up and fake news. Gage is 100% a liar and a fraud. So the only problem that have the existence of these 2 long years known is Gage is Gage. This is absolutely ridiculous to the core. You mean like the fact that you're still alive. The only reason I am suffering is because Gage and his cult following wants to make things up about me because their racist views against me and Amos Yee. Fuck you and Amos Yee. You're a pair of worthless fucking retards who've done nothing with your lives except say stupid shit that got you burned up in the end. Nothing that Gage says matters anymore. Well, apparently it does because you wrote an entire fucking PMS bitchathon about it. He is a liar about everything that's said about me. Gage knows nothing about me. He doesn't care about me. So then why then I am the victim of Gage? Like, oh, the LGBTP plus community agents are victimized by conservatives with no life and no intelligence. Shut the fuck up with your supposed racial grandstanding, you faggot. And I'm not calling you that because you're gay. I'm calling you that because you're just a shitty person. Gage couldn't reason with someone in his life if his life depends on it. You mean if his life depends on it? You mean if my life depended on it? He has proven many times with his victims and enemies, he can't reason with others because he thinks he is better than everyone. No, I just disagree with stupid fucks who make it abundantly clear that they'll mumble and bitch and whine about nothing. Gage always acts like he was always right, when really 99.97% wrong. However, even if Gage is too egotistical to reason with me like a civilized human being, I am still correct in my ideology, my beliefs, and my religion. Because he has no real argument against me. Calling me names, shouting, and cursing does not constitute a valid argument. Gage's logic is unimportant, and I win against Gage, as I do every day when Gage makes a fool of himself and gives me more material to write my books with. Gay stupidity is making me rich. Yummy! Okay, so what you're saying is that you admit to antagonizing someone with the idea that you can become rich by constantly trying to milk their antagonism with your insane, bombastic bullshit claims. I'm glad you're essentially just admitting in writing that you're a fucking parasite who will continuously try to siphon time from someone else's life just so you can make money. I hope you die. 1 million painful deaths, one after a fucking another, till the end of time. I understand 100% what I'm saying. Sadly, again, Gage does not. Well, you more or less, you just fucking admitted that you are trying to milk someone for money. Gage does not. Gage does not even know how the human body works or what a vagina is for. Well, I know it's for reproduction. Not much is obvious. Gage thinks that the penis is just used to pee. With no wonder he doesn't have a girlfriend. No, your dick is used not only to dispose of bodily waste, but it's also made for reproductive purposes. But that doesn't mean a goddamn thing. No wonder he doesn't have a girlfriend. Gage is too afraid to use his last name in his videos. Are you sure it's not because I don't want people doxing me, you stupid faggot? Has it ever occurred to you that when people like you make up a bunch of shit about someone posting their legal names around, that people tend to form lynch mobs over stupid shit like that? More importantly, why am I not allowed to use your legal name? Why am I not allowed to use a name that you publicly disclosed in a video and state that you've straight up been a pedophile supporter? Why is it that when I talk about that, you lose your shit and you start trying to tuck it under the rug? Instead of saying focus on the argument, you try to make it all about my name, instead of whether or not you've said some pretty sketchy shit. What are you afraid of, Gage? That more people will call you out for who you really are? You brought that fear on yourself, and it is not my doing that you are making yourself suffer because of your terrible life choices. I tried helping Gage, but he refused my help. Yeah, you know when you call someone a racist and a piece of shit and say that everything they say is bigoted and you talk down to them every chance you fucking get like a fucking asshole. Yeah, that's trying to help someone. I hope you die. I really hope you do. I hope whatever painful death you get is more painful in the second life if you do believe in reincarnation. I hope you die again and again and again and again and again and again and again in rapid succession of more and more painful deaths. Until finally, the moment you're born again, you just immediately accept whatever death comes your way. You're a douche in every sense of the word. I tried being nice, but he rallied against me. Yeah, you know, you try being nice when you start shitting on person's problems. When you essentially attack someone's personal life and their problems. When you start trying to have someone dig around in someone's personal life to build up ammunition against them just so you can try to fucking assassinate their character. Yeah, that's trying to be nice. Kill yourself. I mean it. Slit your fucking wrists and get it over with. Clearly he is the cause of his own disgruntlement and his own depression. No. My disgruntlement comes from the fact that you're just a genuinely crappy human being who attacks everyone over the most simplistic of reasons. My depression stems from the fact that I have a really fucked up medical history that causes me to have a bunch of mental issues that I didn't fucking ask for. Fuck yourself. People don't choose to be depressed, asshole. They either are or they're not. And the fact that you don't understand that is sad. This is why my life is blessed and Gage's life is cursed. Let this be a lesson to all those who read this who hears a true story of my suffering and victimhood at the hands of the GCA2 cult, which led by Gage, that then you do good things for others. The conservatives will persecute you, like Francis and Donnie Swaggart do against Black Lives Matter on their show, Francis and Friends, SBN Network, which is run by Jimmy Swaggart, Francis' husband, Donnie's father, who no one fucking cares. But you do wrongdoing against your community. The conservatives praise you, and that you... Fuck. That does not make you the bad guy, but a victim of the very oppression that you were fighting to stop. My fight is against online bullying and persecution of humanity for their uniquities and individuality by conservatives like Gage. Gage does not know me, my friends know me, my family knows me, and my community knows me. For those who oppress you, like Gage, oppress me, are spiritually dead, and those who love their neighbor as themselves will move mountains. Again, loving your neighbor as you love yourself does not mean you're obligated to love every single fucking person on the planet. It just means that you should respect others. and try to get along with others. And had it not been for the fact that you screamed like an asshole and kept talking down to everyone, you would have just passed by in the rearview mirror. You would have been a topic that would last maybe a week, if that, and it'd be it. But you didn't. You kept bothering people more. But I am not afraid of Gage. You fucking should be. The Asian community and LGBTQ community are stronger than those who harass us and make us look like less than we are worth. You're not worth anything as a person. Like, nothing at all. Like, there are people dying in Guatemala who would be a lot more useful than you. We Asians helped build America with no appreciation for our blood, sweat, and tears, but mostly blood and our sacrifices that we made. So the white man like Gage can use these things and take said things for granted. The Chinese slaves, for example, built the railroad and connected the east to the west, yet public transport in America is least priority to the interstate system. We Asians are strong and have existed longer than the Americans, who step all over us just like Gage. Yet these conservatives act as if they own the world. Gage thinks that all Asians look white, which is a stereotype well known in conservative circles, which is racist and ignorant. Gage denies Asians their professional ancestral narrative and humanity by saying, "You're not Asian," because of how a person looks, and does not match his stereotypical understanding of how Asian people look, when this person is Asian. And that person's life is none of his, Gage, and the conservative business. Gage really messed up his life, and he decided to bully me. You messed your life up when you decided to bully me. You called me mean names, so I'll ruin your life. Bring it, cunt. Why don't you and I have a boxing match? How about that? Why don't we have a nice little boxing match, 1-on-1, for 5 minutes in the ring, 3 rounds a minute? I mean, really, the reason people don't believe that you're Asian is because you're African American. People have looked at your family history, fuckface. Your mother is a black woman. Your father was a black man. People can tell your genealogy records, idiot. You're so fucking stupid you tell yourself you're a race that you're not, just so you can keep making excuses on why everyone's fucking racist. I mean, it just shows that you're so full of your own shit. A circular argument is the best argument, because it's the truth. Gage argument is a straight line, because it is a lie. No, if an argument is meant to be like cause and effect, it's meant to be point A to point B, as in, here's the argument, and here's what backs up the argument. Not, it's true because I say it is, it's true because I say it is. Like, if all you do is just use the same argument to answer another argument, that doesn't really prove you right. It never does. Nothing that Gage says adds up to anything real or existent in reality. Conservative logic is a straight line. There are flaws in their logic, and that their belief system has multiple flaws at best. However, a circular logic has no flaws. It is the truth that can never not be denied, which is why Gage still haven't been able to find one flaw in my ideology in the 2 years I've been unlucky to know him, and which cannot be deceived, twisted, turn the page, changed, corrupted, or changed. Reality is way above Gage mental capacity and understanding. Nobody ever died from sex, nor will we ever die from sex. Well, except for the part that die from venereal disease, and the part where people have essentially been penetrated with foreign objects, which actually cause them to die from internal bleeding. I mean, there are people who've actually been sexually assaulted and beaten to death during their sexual assault. But you're going to deny that that was sexual assault. You're going to deny that it was a crime, because all you're going to do is say that it's not a crime because, rape doesn't exist. Because you say it doesn't. People can die from disease or complications, but never sex. Well, what about people who've been raped to death? Just like nobody has ever died from breathing or drinking water. Actually, there are people who have died from drinking water, because one lady drank so much water that she caused dry drowning. Like, you can get water, you can essentially get, like, what is the... I'm trying to think about what that term is. Like, I believe it's like water exhaustion or something. Like, oh yeah, it's water intoxication, where you have like way too much hydration in your system, and your body doesn't know what to do because there's way too much of it there. So you like start sweating and shit. It's impossible, and it's an impossibility that Gage can never comprehend. No, it's just the fact is that you refuse to believe that you're wrong about something, so you keep saying that everyone else is gone. Gage cares about your sex lifestyle choices, which is very creepy and weird. You mean like how you try to get involved in someone else's life and say that someone else's partner should be yours because you think you're better for them than the person that they're dating, and that's not supposed to be called creepy and weird? Or how you're following women around in that weird little place you're staying at, creeping on them sexually when they just happen to associate with you? Gage wants to control who you have sex with. No, I just don't think it's okay to have sex with animals, your siblings, or children. That's it. Aside from that, I don't care. I am living testimony and a living witness to the madness of Gage. I know more about Gage than Gage knows about himself. No, you don't. No, you don't. You know what you want to believe, and that's the thing. You know only what you choose to believe because you're telling yourself that it's true. Which is an understatement because Gage doesn't know much period to begin with. Much period to begin with? You should just say much to begin with because if you say much and period, much implies that you're referring to something, but period implies that someone doesn't know anything at all. He cares if you are LGBTP+. Just look how many times in his videos he mocks us on a daily basis with his annoying mumbling of LG blah blah blah. Again, Gage is a chronic liar with no remorse for his sins against you. Sins. Fuck you. The concept of sinning essentially means that you're committing a crime against a deity or some sort of divine being. You idiot. That's why when people commit sins, they're not committing sins against themselves or each other. They're committing sins against whatever deity creates the universe and whatever religion you're going under. That makes no fucking sense. He makes it seem like you made it all the mistakes, when in fact it was him all along. Gage is a manipulative conservative. He's an expert in mind games and mental control. Of course, Gage denies it because he is trying to protect his agenda. Excuse me, I almost thought he said project again. The cost of your livelihood, which Gage cares nothing about, just like Gage hates the LGBTQ plus community. Keep saying that. Just why he keeps mocking them and he wants them, quote, destroyed. Referring to pedophiles or child molesters is not the same thing as attaching them to the gay community. Fuck you. Gage wants to banish all LGBT plus members out of America, aka conservative homophobic state, which is why America needs a Democrat in the White House. The only reason you're saying this is because this is around the time you were writing your little faggoty presidential campaign that no one supported. To keep crazy people like Gage from locking the LGBT in the gas chambers like in the Holocaust. As someone of Jewish descent, I find that greatly fucking offensive. Fuck you. Because everyone knows that Gage isn't just going to stop at banishing the LGBT community. He will take as far as it needs until it's only straight white conservatives and only in the world America. God help us all. God help us all, guys. I'm gonna jump to really fucked up conclusions because I need to paint this person as a fucking racist. I mean, don't you love it when your only argumentation revolves around you needing to smear another person with horse shit so you can tell yourself they're always at fault for the stupid shit you say? May God help us all. God help us all. He called me a faggot one time. He called me a faggot a bunch of times and he says I'm ugly. It must be racist. He must be a white supremacist because I'm too stupid to comprehend that not everything in the world has to be entirely one way or the other. I mean, seriously, really, do you believe that every person that you call a conservative or the person that you brand as a conservative has to be a racist, has to be a white supremacist, has to hate the gay community, has to be a sexist, has to be all these other things? I mean, are you so fucking stupid and crazy that you think that everyone that disagrees with you about anything at all is immediately all those other things? Just because they don't agree with you. I mean, is that your argument? If they tell you that you're being a fucking asshole, is your first thought, well, that guy right there called me an asshole, must be a Nazi. Must be a Nazi. He can't be anything else. He must be a Nazi. He must be. And even if he has a mixed race wife and he's fucking the shit out of her, and even if he has gay friends who fuck all the time, he's still a homophobic, racist Nazi. And even though he doesn't believe in religion, he's still a Christian Nazi too. Because my brain can't comprehend that. I mean, seriously, do the right hemisphere and left hemisphere of your fucking brain like start tearing themselves the fuck apart when you try to process the fact that not everyone in the world is as simple as what you want them to be? You fucking idiot. Alright, let's take a break. I'll be back in a minute. Alright, well, let's get back on track. Chapter 6, Celebrating 3 years. Well, wait a minute. Why would you be celebrating if it's such an awful thing that someone's busting your chops for being a psychotic moron? Then why celebrate? I mean, why would you celebrate something that you don't like, that you claim you're being victimized by? That makes no damn sense. This isn't like a fucking relationship or someone's celebrating the third anniversary of a relationship. Christ. It's been exactly 3 years since Gage and his cult targeted me for their hateful conservative campaign missions and racist smear campaigns for the very reason of brainwashing me. No, people were just combating your stupid bullshit argumentations with argumentations that revolved around actual empirical fact. And because you don't like that, you throw these goddamn temper tantrums where you whine and cry and bitch and whine because people criticize and scrutinize what you say. No one was trying to make you think differently. They're just trying to combat your argumentations with opposing argumentations. They're trying to argue with you to see if perhaps you could see a reason. They're not trying to make you believe what they say. We never were. When Cass, Damien, Justin, and myself debated you individually, it was never a matter of wanting to brainwash you. It was a matter of simply stating the fact that you obviously don't know what the fuck you're talking about. For 3 years, I have been called every bad word in the known English language. I have been verbally abused, slandered, and misrepresented, among other things. No. You're not being misrepresented. When you publicly condone pedophilia and people simply quote what you say without taking anything you say out of context, that's just you saying it and them just reiterating what you said. And the reason people call you mean names and insult you is because you were being the asshole first. Don't sit there on your tower of shit and say that because you have a pile of shit, it's somehow bigger than everyone else's. No one cares. Stop pretending that your shit doesn't stink, because quite frankly, it's a ridiculous idea. Verbally abused. Dude, no one's in a sexual or romantic relationship with you. Verbal abuse only works if you have like a really deep interpersonal relationship with someone. You don't have a romantic or like familial relationship with anyone that's been busting your chops. You're just saying verbal abuse because in your mind, if you apply bullshit fucking nonsensical standards to whether or not people talk about you in a pleasant way, you see that as crimes and abuse. Because you want the United States to adopt some pussy ass view of language where everyone's obligated just to be nice to you because you're a simpering bitch. Gage, page over, orchestrated and ran those operations. Gage wants transgender people to shut up and go away. No, I think you're an asshole as a person. He thinks transgender people are treatards and egomaniacs. This is what I have to deal with on a daily basis while everyone else lives their lives in peace. I have to deal with spamming comments every day, threats to my life, character assassination, all of these things were approved by Gage. Oh, wait a minute. Why is it spamming comments if someone maybe leaves 2 or 3 and replies to some of the stuff you say on their videos? But when you make hundreds of comments on one video that's an hour long instead of just making one overarching statement to cover all of it, that's not considered spamming? Why is it spamming if someone disagrees with you and they just make a handful of comments? But it's not spamming when you go to someone's YouTube videos and their Facebook posts, for example, and leave like dozens of comments about how they're always the piece of crap in every argument. It's weird. It's only spam if someone else is doing it, right? As an activist for the LGBTP plus rights and a supporter of Black Lives Matters, it's Black Lives Matter, not matters, because matters implies that there's like states of existence between solid, liquid, gas, and plasma, instead of matter as in it's something with significance. I have dealt with morons like Gage on a daily basis. Dumbass, you should spell it basis as an SIS, as in a frequency, instead of basis like military installment. Idiot. These same types of people conservative bullied Simply Kane, a liberal and gay YouTuber, for wearing makeup as a guy, despite the fact that I legitimately don't mind if he does or not, because it's not really my fucking concern. I am not the only victim of conservatives on YouTube and elsewhere. Amos Yee, activist from Singapore, Desmond is amazing, drag queen, Letitia, drag queen, all of the YouTubers who made coming out videos, etc. are victims, or handle it better than others. Some commit suicide, hence the conservative like Gage and his cult are death in our communities. Some protest, some cry, which Gage doesn't care because he has no access to his emotions or his humanity, and some report them. No matter how hard how they handle it, the suffering of these people is blood, which is on the hands of Gage. No, I'm not responsible for fucking suicides, dumb fuck. You're essentially saying that anyone at all that's called you a mean name is the same as being a legitimate fucking bigot who bullies some poor teenage transgender drag person to suicide. Fuck off. Yeah, like, I'm gonna put all the evil actions of other people that you don't know on you because I'm too big of a pussy to hold those people accountable. So I'll assign all of their evil actions and all the really terrible shit they've done to you because I'm a simpering bitch. Really. That's what you're doing. You're just displacing the blame for their activities onto someone else because you're an asshole who can't just hold those people accountable individually for their actions. So they all have to be the same thing that you call me because that saves you the trouble of having to think critically and maybe try to see nuance in things. You don't see nuance in anything, and it's kind of sad to see that you're so black and white. Like you see everything as one or the other. You don't have any nuance to your understanding of anything, and it fucking shows. I mean, it really does. It fucking shows that you legitimately don't understand a fucking thing that you talk about. Because if you did, you wouldn't need to keep doing this shit. You wouldn't need to keep doing this fucking nonsensical bullshit where you keep trying to make everyone act the same way. Just because you think that they have to act the same way. Because in your mind, if they don't all act the same, then they're non-existent. Like, your whole mind is they have to be one or the other. Like, they have to be either, you have to be in the LGBTQ plus community, or you have to be a heterosexual. Okay, well, no one has to be anything. Just because someone occupies a certain sexual orientation does not mean they hate people who don't occupy that orientation. Your whole argument is essentially that anyone at all that doesn't agree with you, who happens to be the opposite, who happens to be a different race, who happens to have a different sexual orientation, who happens to have a different political view, or lack thereof, they have to be the bad person in the argument because you need a villain to point at and say, yeah, they're bad. Meaning that the suffering of humanity is on Gage, so Gage is the blame for all those who have suffered by Gage hands. Again, like, there's apostrophe S when you're trying to apply a possessive noun to something, you idiot. No, here's the thing. I'm accountable for what I do, not the actions of hundreds of other people that I don't fucking know. I'm not accountable for the actions of someone all the way in, like, middle of Burbank, for example. Like, if some asshole beats some poor gay person up, I do not stand by that guy's actions. In fact, I'd feel horrible for the person that just got beaten up for no reason, because them being gay should not be a reason for them to be assaulted. For any reason, really. Unless someone's actually legitimately done something that harms someone else. But you don't like to listen to that. The moment you say, the moment I give you any example at all of something that I would disapprove of, that's like when in terms of me trying to be progressive and show progressivism, your brain turns off. Because the moment I say, it's not okay to hurt gay people for no reason, we immediately say, well, you hate me because you're an asshole. Your orientation has nothing to do with it. Let's keep reading. What Gage is doing is wrong and illogical. So it's wrong to disagree with certain people who espouse insane views. You don't go around forcing your ideology on people. Well, that's what the fuck you were doing 2 chapters ago, you cocksucker. You were going around saying people have to unsubscribe from someone that you don't like. You're telling someone to unlike videos that they like. You're telling someone to avoid content that you don't like. That's what you've been doing, is essentially trying to, like, fucking shove your beliefs down people's throats like you're cleaning a chimney. That's how you turn the world against you, like in Gage case. The world doesn't know about me. Like, maybe a few hundred people on the internet know about me. Maybe close to 1,000 do on the internet if you count people that have heard of me in passing. But that does not mean a goddamn thing. Whatever Gage's motive was to bully others is lost and hidden by the actions which is bullying. No, if I disagree with you and call you a shithead for being a shithead to me, it doesn't mean it's bullying when you make it abundantly clear to keep starting shit with me over and over again. So 3 years of nothing came out of Gage's campaign. Gage wasted 3 years of his life with nothing to show for it but investigations, angry YouTubers, and 8 books against him. So it's my fault that you're a pussy who wrote 8 volumes of slander, libelistic horseshit because you're mad that someone called you a dumbass online? Like, could you just imagine how stupid and feeble you have to be to keep telling yourself that everything you do is justified because you give yourself a series of reasons why everyone else is always at fault? I mean, if you were just a gay guy minding your own business and simply saying that we should give these pedophiles mental health help so that they can maybe, sorry, I'm spinning the soda ball, get some treatment for their issues, I would listen to that and I would actually agree that the people that don't offend need some help to rectify the issues like medication and therapy. And I don't mean shock therapy, I mean counseling, like a legitimate therapist who talks to you. But you're not going to believe that because in your mind, the moment someone says therapy, you immediately try to equate it to shock therapy because you're an idiot. I mean, really, the only reason you angry YouTubers, the only people that are angry are the pussies who took everything I said personally to cry and screech and ree when they make assholes of themselves, saying stupid, insane shit and trying to start some beef. And when the beef came back and bitch slapped them across the face, they started throwing more tantrums instead of learning from their mistake and not fucking with the same person twice. Idiot. He ruined his reputation, his credibility, and his trustworthiness. Gage made enemies, victims, and lost a lot of his videos on YouTube. Again, DMCAing someone's content because you're ass mad that they read what you wrote and mocked it is not the same thing as people taking it down for valid reasons. If someone decides to false flag someone's account umpteen fucking times because they're triggered and ass mad that someone called them an idiot, then maybe, just maybe, it's them being the thin-skinned little cunt and not the other person being a dick for no reason. So nothing but bad karma came from Gage bullying me. He's bullying me! I'm nearly 30 years old, but he's bullying me! Can you just imagine being almost 30 years old and you need to talk to someone that's like 5 years younger than you and the person's calling you a faggot on the internet and your first thought is to throw a fucking tantrum for months? Yeah, he is still making videos calling me a faggot, homophobic, saying that you're not Asian when I am, denial, stating that I am not from another country, whatever that means, slander, and that I'm stupid and a retard, bullying, bullying. Again, when I call you a faggot, it's not because I assume you're gay. When I call you a faggot, it's because you act like a brain-dead bundle of sticks. And the reason I don't believe you're from another country is because your own fucking birth certificate says you were born in Denver, Colorado, according to your own Vote Smart profile, you stupid fuck. You stupid fuck. So let me get this straight. You say that you were born in Denver, Colorado on your Vote Smart profile, but you would claim you were born in the Philippines. So which is it? Well, actually, no. Now that I remember, you would claim you were born somewhere in India. I believe it was Mumbai. Thing is, though, if you're born on soil that does not belong to the U.S., you're not a U.S. citizen. And if you are born on U.S. soil, you lied about being born in a foreign country. So which is it? Are you lying in your Vote Smart profile, or are you lying in your book? Which is it? Like, wait, which one is the lie here? Because it's hard to tell because you're starting to blur the lines between fiction and reality with how inconsistent your origin story is. I mean, the Joker has a more consistent memory of his own origin story. So clearly, he has not learned his lesson from the mistake that he made when he decided that it would be okay to bully innocent people for made-up reasons because it only makes sense in the mindset of Gage and his cronies. Cronies? So because I have acquaintances and friends who also think that you're a blithering fucking spastic, it immediately means that they're just a bunch of sycophant drones? I am Asian. That's not changed just because Gage is living in his delusions. Well, you did say Cornelius wasn't really Asian because Cornelius wasn't thinking the way you wanted him to think, so isn't that just as racist to say that he's not Asian because he differs from your fucking opinions, you idiot? I am not a faggot. I am a human being who Gage victimized for over 3 years, and still, let's go to the next page. Continue to do so without any legitimate reason to do so. I am not stupid or retarded, and the fact I am an intelligent person who has written and published 9 books, more than what Gage ever did. Gage never published a book, never once published a book. Maybe it's because when I write something, there's a process to it. I actually mean to go through it and peer review it and have someone proofread it and edit it and maybe try to spell check the shit that I type so it doesn't coming out look like some stupid fucking dog shit spread across a page. You fucking useless sack of human shit. I am not an American, nor does that matter unless you are Gage, because Gage doesn't care about your suffering of his behavior against you. He only cares about his yes men, who are only copycats of Gage, aka they only tell Gage what he wants to hear. Like Kate or Kyle, Gage owes the world an apology for wasting their time with nonsense and victimizing people that has nothing to do with his mental illness. Again, you're immediately trying to say that someone's mentally ill because they call you an idiot when you say insane, stupid shit. Part of me wonders how schizophrenic you have to be. So what you're saying that because Kate and Kyle both say that you're a fucking retard for saying stupid ass insane things, it's automatically the same as just being a copy and paste of someone else's personality? Are you fucking kidding me? You gotta stop smoking the methamphetamine. It's really getting to your head, dude. But some good has come from this. It allowed for Domingo Chilean national government to show the international community the very flawed America that is leading to its failure. Gage and conservatives who act like him. Yeah, it's not like the country had a series of issues that came from multiple presidential terms over and over again for the last 40 years. No, no, no. It's not like the last 4 decades have turned into a bunch of shit shows because we've had one incompetent dick after another in the office, making stupid ass mistakes and not bothering to deal with the mistakes of the other. Yeah, it's totally not that. Totally had nothing to do with the incompetent baby boomer fuckheads who essentially fucked up the planet for the generations that followed. No, no, no. Not those people. It has to be strictly conservatives. It can't be the entire generation of baby boomer cocksuckers who essentially fucked the planet into the dirt and essentially said, fuck you, clean up our mess. And it created dialogue for how to handle cyberbullying, how to handle threats from conservatives like Gage, and who to contact to hold them accountable for their hate crimes. Calling you a dumbass is not a hate crime. Saying that you're a moron is not a hate crime. No one has picked up a brick and thrown it through someone's window. It opened up a whole new avenue on the cults. The cults can be run online and harm innocent people worldwide. At a 21st century problem like Gage needs a 21st century solution, like censorship and false reporting campaigns and butthurt publications like this, which more or less aid to remedy your ass hurt by putting it behind a paywall so you can suck money from gullible sheep. Is this something the global community needs to work on and put as a top priority of the global agenda? Dealing with Gage taught me how to be blessed that I have actual intelligence and a reason to live. You don't have a reason to live. Your entire existence is predicated to the fact that you can attach yourself like a fucking leech and siphon from them psychologically so you can sit there and say that the reason to live is so that you have a boogeyman to point at. Dude, the only reason you have to live is the fact that now you have a boogeyman to point your little retard hand at and say, here, you meanie bigot bully. I mean, that's really all you're doing. Your only reason to exist right now is just to be up my ass screaming about how bad I am, because that's really the only thing you can motivate yourself to do. I could never imagine myself in Gage's shoes because his lifestyle would be the death of me, which Gage has said countless times how happy and ecstatic he would be to see me dead. Well, the reason it would be the death of you is because it would imply you to actually be responsible for your own fucking decisions and take some actual fucking accountability for anything at all that goes on in your life in terms of how you fucking act. And that's exactly why the fuck you wouldn't be able to live my life. It's because to live my life would imply you'd be capable of actually being responsible and actually taking any degree of accountability for the stupid shit you do. And you wouldn't. Not to mention the fact that if you've been through half the shit I've been through in my life, you would have killed yourself 3 times over because you're such a pussy. When people treat you poorly, your first thought is to get borderline suicidal instead of actually trying to do some self-reflection and say, yeah, I'm kind of fucking my own life up here by being an irresponsible dumbass. I mean, it's the reason that fuckheads like you don't live decent enough lives is because you don't care about living your own life. You want to live vicariously through someone else, so you attach yourself to someone like a fucking tapeworm, thinking that if you linger on the end of their asshole long enough, you're going to get something worthy of nourishing yourself with. But the reality is that's just simply untrue. your arguments have essentially just been, I'm mad at you for these reasons, and if you don't tell me anything that I want to hear, then it means that you have to be an evil conservative bigot bully, and everything you say must be false and must be a lie and must be this and that because I say it can. And that's the problem. Like, your entire life has more or less been based upon displacing blame for all of your decisions on the people who you fuck with and never yourself. I could not live 1 minute being hateful to anyone on YouTube, let alone making up stories about situations that never happened. Nobody cares about your past but you, Gage. Well, you seem to, fuckhead, because you seem to be awfully obsessed about what I do in my life to the point where you try to utilize it against me like an asshole. Well, if no one cared about, again, yeah, let it go. Let it go. Just completely forget whoever fucking hurt you. Forget whatever the fuck did, like, fuck with your life. Just completely forget all the pain and all the suffering. Yeah, you know, your trauma, just put it in a magic little Ziploc baggie and put it in your pocket, and that way, whenever you get tired of it, you can just throw that trauma out the window. Fuckhead, do you know how trauma works? Trauma doesn't just go away. It doesn't, like, disappear into an alternate fucking dimension when you decide that you no longer want it. It fucking lingers in your brain your entire life afterwards. The only difference is you just get better at handling it. Like, for a depression, for example, depression doesn't go away, you just manage it. You just make it so that it doesn't fuck up your life as much as it could if it's unhindered. And that's the difference between being well off in terms of being able to manage your depression, and then there's having it yourself under its fucking thumb, and it's pressing down on you to the point where you can't get anything fucking done because you don't have the motivation to do anything. Honestly, fuck you. It's not a made up story if it's shit that you've actually done. Forgive whoever made you bitter, psychotic conservative, and move on. Oh, psychotic conservative. Here's the thing. You're not capable of diagnosing someone with psychosis. The fact that you're trying to speak about someone like you're a psychiatrist shows that you're full of shit. I mean, you have no right to say that other people need to let shit go when you're the one that kept making it a point to jump in their fucking face over and over again. Your YouTube videos means nothing. Well, if they mean nothing, then why the fuck do you care? If they really didn't mean anything, then you would not care at all. Your words have no meaning, then why do you respond? What people care about is hearing you say, I'm sorry for what I have done, and for you to disappear. Until you say those words, the world will ignore you as they have been for almost a year now. Well, for the world to ignore me would imply that no one would watch my content whatsoever, but people still do. And here's the thing. You have no right to demand for people to apologize to you and to stop making content just because you're butthurt that they called you a dumbass. I mean, if people denigrate you because you decide to act like a shitty person, you have no right at all to demand that they apologize when you've acted like a shitty person to them. It's one thing if someone's minding their own fucking business and someone just pops out of a fucking window or walks into your house and starts screaming at you like an asshole, or someone just like randomly starts blowing up your phone with a bunch of shitty fucking statements for no reason. And then there's you doing what you did, bothering people, making it a point to like talk about shit you don't understand. And even someone going so far as to denigrate people for their personal experiences. And yet you of all people have the balls to say that other people owe you an apology. No one owes you a fucking thing except an ass kicking. If Gage can make the choice to abuse humanity, then he can make the choice to stop. The choice is his and his only. If it's my fucking choice, then why the hell are you trying to talk about it like you're the one that makes the decisions here? For Gage is responsible for his actions, not me or anyone else. Gage has no excuse or reason to act like the way he acts and treat people like dirt. Which is why you treat people like dirt because they don't agree with you. If Gage did not want me to speak the truth against him, then he shouldn't have started trouble with me. If he didn't want me to lie about you and act like a fucking asshole, you shouldn't say mean words about me, or I'm gonna keep lying about you. Whee! If I find you in a room alone, I'm gonna beat you into a coma and then shit into your face. Gage is his own problem, and until he stops utilizing his defense mechanisms and face reality, he finally live life to its fullest. You have no right to decide if someone's living their life to the fullest or not because you're the one trying to make that distinction for them. You have no right to decide how another person lives their life unless they're actually posing a legitimate physical threat to someone else. I pray for Gage every day because one day someone will hurt him and only the place where Gage will end up there is the grave. I have no enemies. I don't want enemies, but I don't create enemies. Yeah, you do. You kind of fucking do. When you kind of go out of your fucking way to piss people off to the point to where they legitimately wish nothing but the worst for you, you create an enemy. And you create enemies when you go out of your way to talk down to people, call them stupid pieces of crap, accuse them of being racist, accuse them of being every negative thing under the sun, just because they don't agree with you. Yeah, remember, you accuse someone of being a racist and a white supremacist with no merit at all the fucking time, for no reason except for the fact that you're a retard who needs to constantly tell himself that everything he believes about a person that's negative has to be true because he's the one that thinks it. But remember, you're not trying to make an enemy of someone when you blatantly fucking lie about them as a way to get people to fucking harass them. I am no enemy. I am no even an enemy to myself. You mean not even an enemy to myself? Learn how to spell, fuckhead. When Gage turned the page. Fanta's hatred at me, I always remind myself that Gage is sick in the heart, the mind, and the spirit. He is an evil internal force existing inside of him, but he doesn't know how to get rid himself of this demon. So what you're saying is that because I legitimately don't fucking like you, and I find you just to be a really abhorrent human being, it just has to be. It has to be some sort of demonic entity, like hanging on to my soul. No, it's because I just really don't like you. I find you just to be a genuinely shitty person who I want nothing to fucking do with. I remind myself that nothing that Gage says to me or about me is true nor is real. Yeah, it is. It is true. Because you lie about yourself all the fucking time. You constantly deny your own accountability for your actions because it saves you the trouble of realizing that you're a shit human being. That he is lost in his own little world and not planet Earth that humanity resides on now. Despite the fact that if I look beneath me right now, I'm going to see my carpet. I look beneath my carpet, I'm going to see the foundation. Look beneath the foundation, I'm going to see the planet Earth, which is the house is currently resting on, so. Yeah. I remind myself that evil has no hold over my soul, and that nobody has the power to take away my peace unless I allow them to. Which is why you harass people to the point to where you fuck with them and fuck with their serenity and mess with them so that they can't be at peace. I mean, really, you're the one fucking with other people who tried to ignore you because when you started dying for attention, you started making a point to swing people at more. I mean, let's face it, you're a sorry little shit. Your entire existence is basically just screech and ree whenever you don't get what you want because you don't know when to fuck off. Gage is trying to steal my peace, it is a lost battle. For my soul is a fortress against evil and a refuge for those who suffer from iniquity. Right. You realize that a soul is an ethereal thing. It's not a soul is not a shelter. I never take anything that Gage says seriously. I learned that a long time ago that Gage is holding himself back with his mental conditioning, and that Gage actions are in no way, shape, or form my doing. They are when you make it a point to keep lying about someone and talking out of your ass about another person's belief systems that you blatantly understand nothing about. And when people straight up say you're full of shit when you're calling someone a racist for no reason. It tends to be a reason that nobody likes that. Nobody likes it when you lie about them time and time again. Well, it's like I don't dislike you. I just call you a racist all the time because I want to be your friend. I want what's best for you by calling you a white supremacist all the time with no evidence. And because you disagree with me saying that about you because it's patently untrue, it just means you're sick in the head. It's not totally because I'm a paranoid schizophrenic. It's because you're sick in the head, Gage, and you just don't understand your own prejudices, despite the fact that you've displayed none of the things I say about you. That's exactly how it sounds when someone hears you talk. When you start saying you care about someone, but you start accusing people of shit left and right. That, okay, let's see. that Gage is projecting his inner hatred on me because Gage is lonely and has no one to talk to. He is acting out because he is desperate for attention and to be liked, but he doesn't know how to make friends. Just because I voice my opinion about you and call you a shitty person doesn't mean I want friends. Not like you. Why the fuck would I want a friend like you, who's a complete fucking lunatic, who will take an insult and then hear a compliment, but will take the compliment, but just ignore the fact they were insulted a second ago? Seriously, it's like you have an 8-second memory. You forget when someone says something else, but when they say something afterwards, you immediately put that one goes like way back in the filing cabinet in there for later. Me. Again. Well, what the fuck do you think you call it, dipshit, when you make 8 publications about the same motherfucker, essentially screeching and reeing? I mean, you don't really say shit of actual merit. You just call someone a bigot, and that's just not supposed to win the argument for you. It doesn't. I mean, it's not really an argument worth winning. I mean, it really isn't. I mean, you're essentially saying that someone's not allowed to disagree with you because you're a moron. And because people call you a dipshit, you continue just to make it a point to complain about what they say without actually figuring out why they say it. Because of my compassionate nature, I don't hate Gage. Gage like Gage hates me. Well, the reason you claim not to hate me is because if you actually admitted that you disliked me, it would destroy your worldview of yourself. Let's face it, you view yourself as this, like, Christ-like figure who's healing the sick, who's helping the blind to see. You think you're saving people by telling people that those that disagree with you are racist and mean and bullies. But then it turns out at the end of the day, you're this fucked up, vicious, mentally screwed up, vitriolic sack of shit who lies about people all the time, who slanders people over and over again. I forgave Gage a long time ago, and I forgive him every day. It's a struggle for a closed-minded individual like Gage to see the problem that everyone else around him can see clearly. His delusions comes from the fact that Gage is in disbelief that he isn't perfect as he thought. Perfect as he thought. Could you please spell check this? I've never once claimed to be perfect. The difference is I don't do the fucked up shit you do. I don't go above and beyond to randomly accuse people of being racist when they don't agree with me. I don't tail people for months at a time on all their social media just to keep trying to spam them with bullshit to the point to where they have to block you multiple times. That's all you. Turn the page. Gage is surrounded by yes men for so long that when someone stands up against Gage with good intentions, Gage attacks and strikes like a poisonous snake. Sadly for the rest of us, Gage attacks first and asks questions later, which is why so many police are in trouble now that they are. Who gives a fuck about the police? Like, why are you going off topic again? Jesus. I am disappointed that Gage allows for his personal convictions to get in the way of being civilized, especially seeing how Gage knows nothing about my beliefs or my life because he never took the time to ask. I'm not gonna ask you stupid shit about your life because realistically no one fucking cares. No one cares except you. I'm not your friend. I'm not your buddy. I'm not your friend. I don't like you. I hate you with every fiber of my fucking being. You're one of the very few people who I can actually say I fucking hate. And that amazes me, that you've actually managed to get to the point to where I legitimately fucking hate you. I can't really think of anyone that I legitimately fucking hate except for you. And believe me, I've really put some thought into that. There is no one I can actually fucking think of, other than you, who I would actually pay to watch die. Chapter 7. Asking questions is a great way of finding something out. Why the fuck are you yelling, you idiot? Seriously, why is there a fucking exclamation point at the end of the chapter title? You don't need to yell. Gage never asks questions about me. He just assumes things, and he listens to his personal communications director. Sadly, on Gage's part, his sources failed him. Gage, well known to hate homeless people, as he constantly goes on rants teasing them for living in cardboard boxes and such. That is funny that Gage somehow thinks that I am homeless, which makes no sense because even if I was, I'm not homeless. Could have fooled me, fuckface. Why is that any reason for Gage's business to begin with? Well, the reason people mock you is because you act like a screeching lunatic. That's why. Like the reason people assume you're homeless is because when people talk about those places that you were in, they said that you resident. You say that you were. They say that you lived there for a while. They didn't say that you were helping them out with the program. They say that you were actually a resident. So unless the staff there lied for no reason, it seems like you're lying. That or you're just insane, one or the other. Unless Gage is planning to give millions of dollars to give homes to homeless, why would someone being homeless be any of interest to someone like Gage? Unless he hates the homeless. No, it's just the fact is that someone that doesn't pay their own bills, who cannot cover their own expenses, has no right at all to talk shit to anyone else. There's a difference between simply being a homeless veteran who got screwed over because he got divorced shortly after he got home because he didn't come back the same from a tour of duty, or someone that just didn't, was just like fell through the cracks in life. And then there's someone like you who decided to throw all their money into one basket, went to fucking Hollywood seeking fame and fortune, and when that didn't work, he decided to blame it on society instead of thinking about himself and thinking about what he might have done to get himself in that bad situation. To make the comments that Gage did against the homeless sounds like those fools who abuse the homeless for personal satisfaction. Naturally, I take the side of the homeless. Homeless people are not safe with people like Gage walking around abusing and bullying them. Homeless people are human beings just like Gage is, except for many of the nicer than Gage is. So, what is the point of verbal attacks against them? It clearly isn't directed at me because I'm not homeless, so it's directed at all the homeless people in America and around the world today. Yeah, if I speculate that you're homeless because you straight up say that you lived in a homeless shelter, it must be an attack on other people, right? Just displace that some more. I have a lot of I have a lot of trouble that Gage is a lot of trouble that Gage is in. Could have been avoided if he just stopped talking it, stopped being afraid of an education, and asked me what the truth is. So what you're saying is I'm supposed to believe what you say. So that's your argument. I should just believe whatever you say. I should just ask you what's true and not. I should let you fill my head with bullshit. I should let you try to tell me what to believe. I should just let you decide what I should believe for me. Is that it? I should ask you what's true or not. I can't make my own conclusions based upon my own life experiences and data that I've gathered growing up from school and so on and so forth. I should just let you decide what I believe. Yeah, that totally isn't a recipe for indoctrination. That totally doesn't sound like something a cult leader says to someone when they're trying to indoctrinate them, when they try to convince them they're not smart enough on their own. Everything that Gage thinks that he knows about me is a lie. That's been proven many times in the past, like when Gage kept getting my name wrong when he said that I support the abuse of people, which I never said. Not have I ever condoned that. When Gage said I was kicked out of my mom's house. Mom's house? You're not British. Stop speaking with this fake ass, phony baloney UK dialect. Because you don't. You speak in Ebonics on camera. So there's no point in typing with a British dialect, especially when you claim to be an Asian person. It makes no goddamn sense. Christ on a bike. Well, the reason people speculate you were kicked out of your mother's house is because you were tweeting death threats at the president during the inauguration, which was not true because I decided to leave on my own merit and to expand my business elsewhere from where I was living at the time. Or when Gage said Demagogue Shenanigans does not exist, when in fact it does, where Demagogue Shenanigans Corporation functions as a local arm of the Demagogue National Government, which runs the Democratic Republic of Demagogue Shenanigans. I can hear Gage mocking things right now. The DSC handles the finances, DNG handles the laws, and the DRDs is the country itself. All of these misconceptions and misunderstandings could have been avoided, and Gage would not be as embarrassed as he is now if he asked me questions and did proper research on the subject/topic at hand before pushing the narrative that I am homeless and my mom kicked me out. The Democratic Republic does not exist, etc. No, your country does not exist, and it doesn't. You want to know why? When people Google the name of that country, nothing pops up except for a website where you get to make up your own country online. Yeah, I filled out something on the internet. It means it's real now. You delusional retard. Can you just imagine being so goddamn crazy that your first thought immediately goes to saying that a country exists because you say it does? Yeah, remember, guys, I totally made up this country, but it's real now. You psycho. I could charge Gage with slander and sue him in court. Go ahead and try, bitch boy, but I don't want to because since Gage doesn't have any money to buy decent clothes or get a proper set for his videos, what makes me think he would do anything in a legal settlement? Dude, here's the thing. Well, what do you want, dumbass? Do you want like a $20,000 Sony HDV camera on my fucking shoulder, like those shoulder-mounted video cameras people use for the news? Yeah, you don't have tens of thousands of dollars to make a film set, so you don't have money. Yeah, you know, if someone just has like an average everyday day job, and they don't want to spend $20,000 building a film set in their bedroom, it immediately means that they don't have any money at all. Fuck you and die in that order. But instead of me fucking you, I think a bear needs to right in the face with its claws. You're an idiot. Like you really are. You're an idiot of the highest order. And that is saying something. Gage is worthless financially than I am. No, I'm not, because I actually have a job. I actually make money per week. Where you're either mooching off of SSI or you're just sitting there beating off continuously to the thought that if you lie about people, you're gonna get your way in the end. I honestly wish that Gage would stop his madness and start acting civilized. His persona is old. Cut the act and act quote normal or human. It's an easy thing to do. Do what I want you to do. What you mean? People would like Gage more if he acted like a human being and stopped acting like a jihadist. I'm not the one blowing myself up or saying I'd blow myself up for something I don't believe in. We have enough hatred on this planet, so people would side more with those who are peaceful like myself instead of a warmonger like Gage. It's sad but true, and I only tell the truth because I don't want to be cursed like Gage is. This destined to hate humanity until he passes away. I prefer optimism than a pessimistic ideology like Gage. Telling people fuck you only proves that everything I said about Gage being hateful and bullying to the right. Yeah, you know, so what you're saying is that if someone demonstrates any dislike of you for your shitty actions, it immediately means they hate everyone. I'm not obligated to be your friend. Kill yourself. Kill yourself. I am not afraid of Gage, nor am I impressed by anything that he has done over the past 3 years. If I were you, I'd be very afraid. Very, very afraid. The only reason I got out of this experience with Gage is to never deal with conservatives because you will regret it in the end. Yeah, I know, when people start making you challenge your own delusions, it makes it really hard to cling to them, does it not? Gage hatred from SJWs and liberals, the left, doesn't help his cause either. SJWs support society, so by hating SJWs, Gage also hates society as a whole. Liberals, the left, supports democracy and human rights, so by hating liberals and the left, by default, Gage hates democracy and human rights. Remember, this is Gage, whose belief system and ideology is backwards upside down, so when Gage says, I only hate one person, that he really means is, I hate the entire group. Gage never actually says what he means. Both instances are highly dangerous and toxic. So, I'm a troll when I criticize you and disagree with your stupid, nonsensical arguments? Right. Right. That's the best thing to do, because when someone criticizes you and pointed out the fact that you sound incredibly retarded, not having any nuance to anything you believe, it's a troll to simply make that statement. I mean, why does a person have to agree with you all the time about everything? Why? I believe in diversity, and Gage believes in eliminating the immigrant population, locking them in cages, separating their families, and forcing the government to control them like puppets. When did I ever say that I wanted immigration to be stopped? I just want legal immigration. You stupid fucking moron. There you go. Listen to like exactly 1/3 of what I say again. Gage is a Donald Trump wannabe. It's sad that one person could have done so much damage to the human physical and mental existence. Love trumps hate, and Gage is full of hate, rage, and unnecessary anger for unreal reasons, only known to Gage. Yeah, remember, when you continue to tell yourself that you're never accountable for the reasons people don't like you, it just automatically makes you so much more relatable as an author. Have you tried killing yourself yet? I heard it's relaxing. I will never understand Gage madness or the words he says, meaning nothing Gage says makes any logical sense. Nor do I really care. Gage ha been wrong in his actions, character, and logic, and that's the end of it. You mean has been, dumb fuck. There needs to be an S in the word has, because you said Gage ha as in I just started laughing, but you didn't put quotes there. Gage is not justified to do anything that he's done against humanity. Foe as an enemy instead of for. The past 3 years, Gage is not justified to bully others, kill innocent people, and then lie about it, being self-defense, harass Asian people, stalk me, slander me, or be transphobic and bigoted against me. No. It's not murder if someone's trying to kill you, faggot. Remember, if someone's choking you to death, you should just let them do it. Because you'd be friendly that way. Like, you're slandering me right now by essentially saying that someone that had their hands around my neck trying to crush the life out of me was trying to... What do you think that's called when someone's trying to strangle you with their bare hands? And they're smashing your head into the cabinet? What do you call that? I mean, what the fuck do you call that when you do that to someone that's already trying to kill you? Is it just automatically you... Like, is that person innocent when they immediately attack you with the intent to kill you? Is that your argument? Fuckhead. Gage is guilty of these things, as was proven 3 years ago. Of course, Gage will deny this, but he denies everything that is real on Earth. Well, actually, I acknowledge that dogs and cats are things, that people are things, trees exist, air exists, water exists. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I dislike everything. Everything that happened to Gage was in his imagination. I never did one thing, turn the page, to Gage the justification to abuse me like he has for the past 3 years or in any way, shape, or form. Lie some more. Lie some more. Lie some more. You're really good at that so far. So these 3 years, Gage thinking that he can get away with doing evil towards others, but he got caught, and now he's mad. Gage is not mad because he has remorse for what he's done against innocent people, but because he got caught. But I know that I am doing the right thing by exposing the monster Gage, and there's nothing wrong with that. Well, you say that you don't have a problem with me, but then you call me a monster. Well, make up your mind, faggot. Am I the monster that you're pointing out? Am I like the fucking boogeyman of this story? And you're just like the fairy godmother flying around with her little glittery wings trying to save people before I blast you with thermonuclear fire? Chapter 8. Remember, people don't ever end up like Gage or his conservative cult. Unlike Gage, stay in school! Quote, here comes something in quotes. Delusional disorder, previously called paranoid disorder, is a type of serious mental illness called a psychosis, in which a person cannot tell real from what is imagined. The main feature of that disorder is the presence of delusions, which are unshakable beliefs in something untrue. So, your mentality, where you start denying things like age existing. Gage has delusional disorder. He can't tell the difference between what is real and what is not real. Someone is stalking Gage. That is a delusion. No, it's not. You stalk me all the time. People deserve to be bullied, and Gage somehow justified to do so is a delusion. Jennifer Vanilla, story that Gage always states to justify his madness is a delusion. So what you're saying is everyone that disagrees with you is just lying because you immediately try to typecast them as a paranoid, delusional schizophrenic. Meanwhile, you're the one that's going from homeless shelter to homeless shelter and psych ward to psych ward because they just run out of reasons to keep you there when it makes it abundantly clear that you don't really care about treatment or recovery. Social justice warrior is a pejorative term for an individual who promotes socially progressive views, including feminism, civil rights, and multiculturalism. Gage hates SJWs, so then Gage hates what they stand for, which is progressive, open-minded views, civil rights, multicultural, aka Gage hates immigrants. No, I just don't feel like we need over-representation of every single group and every single bit of media that we do. Because usually when people start over-representing, the characters are not well developed. They're not well written. They're not likable. They're not relatable. There's no nuance in a character. If the character is if the character's only like real personality traits being gay or being transgender, okay, you have representation now, but does this character have a personality? Does this character act relatable to an audience? Does this character demonstrate a wide range of emotions that people can connect to? Because if not, it's really hard to like that character. Transphobia encompasses a range of negative attitudes, feelings, actions towards transgender or transness in general. Transphobia can include fear, aversion, hatred, violence, anger, or discomfort felt or expressed towards next page. People who do not conform to social gender expectations. Transphobia consumes the heart and mind of Gage, even though he lies about his feelings. We all know that Gage is hateful individual. He treats transgender people like myself with disrespect and anti-humanistic behavior. Again, not liking you and not believing that you're transgender because you seem to attach yourself to identities to shield yourself from criticism and critique doesn't mean that someone's being transphobic. They just don't like you. Pathological liars tell compulsive lies without a clear motive. This type of lying is different than non-pathological lying, where the lie is often beneficial in some way. Lying is a common feature of social interactions among humans. This behavior even occurs in some animals, such as monkeys. That's interesting. Didn't know monkeys could lie. Lies often lead to some benefit. For example, a person may lie to avoid social embarrassment, while some people lie more frequently than others. This is typically a sign of a mental health condition. Pathological lying is different, a sign of underlying mental health conditions such as personality disorder. In this article, we discuss pathological lying in more detail, including how to recognize and how to cope with this behavior in others. Next page. I love how you essentially just copied a Wikipedia entry. What is okay, let's see. Pathological liars sometimes lie compulsively without any clear benefit. Lying refers to a false statement. Why do we need to have the definition of a lie? Like a lie is simply making a false statement, and period. Intentionally, often to some personal gain, not pathologically the sign of any disorder. A person who pathologically lies will lie compulsively without any clear benefit to themselves. There have been some attempts to outline the difference between the pathological and non-pathological. Goddamn, tripping over my own fucking tongue, but some more research is necessary to make appropriate distinctions. A key feature of the pathological lie is that it has no obvious motivation. It is usually possible to determine why someone has told a lie, such as benefit to themselves or avoid embarrassing or stressful situation, but pathological lying occurs for no reason and does not seem to benefit the individual. It is unclear whether a person who pathologically lies is aware of their deceit or is capable of thinking rationally about their lies. Pathological lying can make socializing difficult and lead to significant interpersonal problems with loved ones and colleagues. You mean like how you can't decide what fucking country you're born in? Okay, so they got Munchausen syndrome, they got personal then they also have like going into bipolar disorder, NPD, like okay, so they have all these different disorders outlined. And then goes into frontemporal goes into dementia. Go to the signs and symptoms. So basically, he just copied a Wikipedia entry about compulsive lying. Okay, let's see. Read the rest. Gage is a psychological liar and have been this way all his life. He has no serious anger. He also has anger and is highly dangerous. Gage threatened that he will twist your neck in a closed door until it snaps off. Oh yeah, you mean Stetson's neck. Stop saying your. I'm not directing this at the fucking reader, you dipshit. Which continues to show and proves continued hatred against the transgender community, continued plan to inflict violence against the LGBTP plus community. Of course, Gage would be a murderer again, and he would be charged with a hate crime. So he's only hurting himself. Attacking agents is what Gage does. Acting liberals is Gage's speciality. Hating African Americans is his duty. What? What the fuck? When have I ever said anything negative about people who are just liberal, just trans, or just Asian, or just black? Like, these are not things that I've said about anyone, you idiot. Gage believes that fighting against slavery and for the human rights of both others are all stupid. No, I think slavery was a good thing to have abolished. I'm glad it's gone. And I hope that we can abolish it everywhere if it's not abolished already everywhere. But the fact is, just because I disagree with you doesn't mean I support slavery, you stupid cunt. All these things, both said and done, are engaged, deluded, and racist mentality, which is corrupted with hatred, secrets, and lies. He can make all the videos that he wants and mock every living thing in existence, but Gage will never be able to run from his past, from those who he victimized. His actions against humanity will be turned into Gage brain his entire lifetime. I pray to God that future generations will have eradicated evil monsters like Gage and its cult, and will keep humanity from being victimized like I have by Gage, DC2, and Damien. Yeah, okay, so now you're hoping that I'm eradicated. But remember, you don't hate me, despite the fact that you've openly said you wish I was dead now. Remember, I wish you were dead. I wish you weren't born. I wish you were all these things. You are all these horrible things. But I like you, despite the fact I'm saying all this shit about you. Just admit it, bitch boy. You have a problem with me, but don't have the balls to admit it. All Gage's concerns are fictitious, and his attitude against the 21st century is capricious. If Gage wanted to be left alone, then he shouldn't have started instigating trouble with people, period. Gage's past actions have caught up with him, and nobody will bail him out. What is interesting is that I myself warned Gage of the consequences that would happen if he continued to act in ways of repute and degradation against people who are not conservatives, which is the fact that Gage's acceptance of society has been tarnished by his reputation, destroyed among other things. But Gage did not listen to me and completely ignored me. It's not a surprise. Gage ignores wisdom on a daily basis for his favorite inaccuracies, verbal attacks, and continued the downward spiral of failure with his reprobate mindset intact. I don't even think you know what the word reprobate means, and I highly doubt you understand what the word degradation means, because realistically you talk like someone who has never attended school. I'm surprised you used the word capricious in the proper sentence as well. It's amazing that what did you have someone, did you have mommy proofread this for you and give you your bib and watch some SpongeBob with you? America has failed and has fallen on its face. Gage, a conservative, is one of the many people who are responsible for this. So what you're saying is, I'm like a normal citizen, a middle-class citizen who has nothing at all to do with the government, at all, aside from paying his taxes. And just saying that a normal motherfucker like me, who has no connection to the government, with the exception of paying my taxes every year, made the government fall. Right, retard, right. Get the fuck out of this country with your stupid shit. We don't need more fucking retards like you being bred into the world to have your fucking brain dead mentality. We, the people, the human race, all 10 billion people on Earth, aka not just myself, Gage thinks that when I talk about others, I am talking about myself, which is a lie. Need to build up a new country, a new government, a new system of living, which is what the Democratic is. In an ever-degrading world, because conservative promote corruption, we, as in we, everyone who is not conservative, just like me, as human beings, not just me, needs a system that puts the people first before politics. You think people are really gonna believe you when you sound like a drooling spastic? I mean, really, what, are you gonna be the president of this new country? Are you gonna be the one running this planet? Are you gonna be the one doing this, you psychotic fucking Messianic dick fuck? Seriously, you sound like a fucking lunatic. You're essentially trying to subtly imply that the country you're establishing needs to be the dominant nation on the planet for the planet to succeed. And it's really fucking creepy and weird. Gage denies the existence of this country not only because he is uneducated and a conservative, but because he hates freedom, free will, and those who have open mind. No, it's just because there's no actual way to prove the existence of your country except your own word of mouth, which is about pretty much wordless. All of these things that Democracy stands for, conservative like Gage, are the puppet masters of our society. How am I the puppet master of any society? I don't run anything. I don't have a business. I don't own anything except for the stuff that I bought with my own money. They control us with the strings of hatred, bigotry, and injustice as a whole, but when we break free from the oppression and intellectual slavery that conservatives control us with via capitalism, they get mad and attempt to destroy us. This is what Gage has done for myself and countless others. Countless others who you will never name because they don't exist, because you need me to be the villain of the story, so you feel like you're doing the right thing. That's the thing. It's always a matter of let me try to destroy you by essentially saying that you're the monster, because it makes it so much fucking easier for me to treat you like you're less than human if I call you a monster. I am free of the bondage of gain. I am open-minded, and I represent the human race, just like countless others have done before me, and will have done after me. You're not some civil rights activist. You're just an asshole. Really. You're just an asshole. You're not a civil rights activist. You're not trying to raise awareness about police brutality in minority communities. You're not really trying to do anything. You're essentially trying to say that whenever people don't agree with you, it's the same thing as being a fucking neo-Nazi. That's all you've done. You're just a stump-funked, brain-dead fucking idiot. I'm pretty sure there are tree stumps that are smarter than you. Gage does not like people with open mind because it keeps him from inflicting control over the people. There's a difference between having an open mind and then there's just making up your own version of reality to subvert whatever you don't fucking like so you can justify being a sick freak with a sexual attraction to children. Just because you're a sick degenerate who wants to fuck little kids does not mean that everyone else is the asshole, you stupid fuck. I hope a Deinonychus spawns itself out of extinction just enough to tackle you to the ground and tear your spine open. I mean, it's not like you'd be able to run very far. Just look at myself and how long Gage and his cult has tried to brainwash me with their anti-human ideology and anti-sexuality agenda, among other things. Dude, there's a difference between simply arguing with your arguments and arguing with your opinions because your opinions are retarded and insane. And then there's trying to make you believe what people think. There's a difference between simply composing an argument, sitting down across the table from you and pointing out why the argument you make doesn't make any fucking sense, logically speaking. And then there's you, just immediately assuming that because they don't agree with you, because they're scrutinizing what you're saying, because they're pointing out the failings of your logic, you immediately try to typecast it as brainwashing because that makes it easier for you to scream at people about stupid shit. I mean, really, that's all you're doing. You're essentially saying that because someone doesn't agree with you, they have to be trying to brainwash you. If someone argues with you and actually engages in discourse with you, you immediately try to make it about brainwashing or controlling someone's mind, when in fact it's you trying to do the opposite to them. You're projecting. You're basically just saying that because you want to control what other people think, it means everyone else is trying to do it to you. That's really all you're doing. You're just illustrating the point that everyone else already thought. There's a difference between being sexual with another adult and then there's being a sick fuck that rapes little children or fucks animals or rapes their siblings. Or rapes their children even. Like really, you're just a shitty person. I don't understand why that's hard to do. I don't understand why you can't just accept the fact that you're not right about everything. Ah, boy. Gage, verbal violence has changed nothing over the past 3 years, other than the fact that Gage has been exposed for his pro-corruption agenda and his attacks on innocent civilians. What exactly defines a civilian in this case, since everyone here is just another person with internet access? He has plastered himself on a pedal stool. Not pedestal, pedal stool. Whipping those whose oppose them, and holding firm his stance against humanity. By whipping people that oppose me, you mean simply stating the fact that if you can't definitively prove your argument with actual science and actual statistics, then there's no point at all to say that you're telling the truth if you really don't know. Gage has not budged one bit from his stance against humanity, but the world around him has changed for the better. For the better good. You mean for the greater good, fuckface. And here's the thing. No one, like, okay, so what you're, like, against humanity how? Because I don't like people raping children? You sick fuck? Seriously, stop with all the fucking lying. That's all you do. Whenever people disagree with you and a handful of fuckfaces about people getting molested as children, and they straight up say that it's really fucked up what happens to these people, you sit there and say, well, I don't see nothing wrong with people being molested. That argument doesn't mean jack shit. It doesn't, because it's not even an argument. It's essentially you just saying, nope, that's not true. It doesn't exist. It's not true. It doesn't exist. That's all you do. You just deny the existence of things that have happened to people. And because you deny the existence of it, and people say that you're full of shit, you call them racist. That's all it is. You're a pussy. You're a giant fucking sick-brained little pussy who needs to keep saying that other people are racist and shit for no reason. Gage enjoys calling humanity a piece of shit, which is sad because he is a human being, so clearly he doesn't love himself. It is impossible for him to love anyone else. Gage thinks the LGBTP plus community is shit. No, I think that child molesters and pedophiles are shit. I think rapists are shit. That does not mean I'm attacking the entire goddamn human race or people that occupy the LGBT. The only person saying this is you. You're switching words out so that you can sit there and say, well, even though he's not saying these things, he must be saying these things because he called pedophiles shit. If you call a pedophile shit, you hate all these other different orientations other than heterosexuality because you called pedophiles shit. That's my logic. Well, your logic is massively broke, you whiny little fucking cretin. He's admitted that he believes multiple times. He's admitted to his beliefs multiple times. You mean beliefs? And my beliefs don't have anything to do with the LGBT. When I call people that rape children pieces of shit, it's because they hurt other people for no reason except for the fact that they're sexually stimulated by a child and they rape a kid. That's the problem. When people do that shit. Nothing else. Fuck off. Each time there is an uneducated excuse for his uneducated-based hatred against innocent, non-threatening people. Yeah, you know, a sick fuck child rapist not threatening to you. This is why America is in the mess that it's in right now. So many haters like Gage on our telly, our radios, our social media accounts, and even in person. Oh, on our telly. Hey, faggot, you're not British. Drop the shit. You're insulting the UK right now. I hope everyone in the UK lines up and smacks you across the face with a fucking cricket bat for trying to culturally appropriate their dialect. You fucking racist. Cultural appropriation right there. Our radios, like hardly anyone listens to the radio anymore, dumbass. Nobody deserves to be tormented by a redneck like Gage who can't tell the difference between the KKK and the BLM. Well, here's the thing. I hate the KKK because they're a bunch of sick fuck pig raping rapists. BLM, I believe, has a reason to be critical of law enforcement for police brutality in minority communities, but I also believe that burning down your own cities and flipping over cars and throwing bricks through windows isn't the way to resolve the problem, because when you start destroying businesses that belong to your friends and neighbors, it makes it really hard for people to try to rebuild the community, because the community is filled with trust issues afterwards. One of these things he hates, next page, and sadly, it's not the KKK. Oh, will you go suck a cock? Suck a cock. You're essentially saying, well, you have to be racist because I'm a stupid bitch. I will kill you. I swear. I will kill you with logic. I guess Gage would be the next Grand Wizard of the Clan, despite the fact that I hate those pig fucking inbred assholes. Who needs world peace and unity when we can just have the Klan? Who needs Democrats? We should just be conservatives, aka white people, and those who don't like it can fuck off. God help us all. Oh, I love how you're just speaking for me now. I love how you're just making your own determinations of what I actually think. You lying little faggot. Oh, look, I called you a faggot again. I called you a faggot again. Faggot, 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 faggot. Worthless piece of shit, little fish head faggot. You're also a dude, by the way. I don't know if you know that, but you have a dick. Not a big one, but nevertheless. You sack of shit. You pedophile sack of shit. You lying, slandering, sexually harassing, stalking, pedophile sack of shit. Kill yourself. That is Gage's logic, not mine. No, that's the logic you're trying to attach to me. Because you think I believe these things. Because I call you a dumb fuck. You are a dumb fuck. Gage already ran that cult. Next step is Gage, the Klan, then the neo-Nazis, and then the world. What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you? Yeah, he's out of his fucking mind. What was I gonna say? He's out of his mind. Of course he is. He's actually legitimately fucking insane. He's actually fucking nuts. He's actually fucking nuts. Why would anyone want to listen to a message like that from Gage? That is why Gage got a YouTuber have 100 times more subscribers than Gage does. Even if you combine the total subscribers between or are all bots and conservatives anyway. I don't bot anything. My subscribers are not bots. That's why you actually see the number of views I get proportionate to the number of subs. So at least Gay God subscribers are real, and that Gay God knows how to dress himself. Unlike Gage, Desmond is amazing and worth subscribing to because he is our future, in a future where you can follow your dream without Gage stalking you and abusing you like Gage has done to me for no reason for 3 years. Me being liberal does not legitimize excuse for Gage ignorance, bitterness, selfish, or lack of self-control. Fuck you! Again, stop making it about your political affiliation, your gender identity, or your presumed race. Because that's the thing, you never actually acknowledge your own fucking behavior at all. You don't. It's all a matter of pointing at the other fucking person. Self-control comes with intelligence, which Gage can't seem to get a hold of. His power over others is failing and Gage is falling apart one piece at a time. I have never intended to have power over anyone. If people happen to like what I say and find it interesting, it's not really my concern. This is what happens to evil people. They slowly fall apart. They wither away into dust and swept into the sewer gates to hell. Ree! Oh, Jesus Christ. For many will come against you, but wisdom defeats them all. You need wisdom in order to defeat evil. There is no other way in life. It's too precious to waste on low-life bullies like Gage. So, then why do it? I don't. I write these books as a testament for the trials and tribulations that I went through in order for future generations to have a full-fledged freedoms that the conservatives take for granted and or abuse. You are more than just a piece of meat for Gage Kirby to bring you in. You are a warrior, you are a leader, you are worth more than you think you are. You are important in every shape and form. You're not a warrior. If you read this bullshit and actually think it's true, you're a fucking simp. You are. I hope you understand this. If someone is actually reading this garbage and takes it seriously and does not bother to ask anyone at all involved about what the fuck was going on here, you're a fucking moron. You are. Because you're not thinking critically. You're not asking everyone involved, or at least trying to get an idea of what the fuck went on with this little story. You're not. Because if you were, you'd be more curious about the whole situation, how it's to happen from start to finish. But you don't. Because people that believe this shit are morons. I am talking to those who Gage hates, which is basically everyone who isn't white and heterosexual. Dear bitch boy, stop taking everything I say and take like 3% of it and use that and the rest of it goes in the fucking dumpster. I am talking to those families who have been separated by ICE which Gage supports. Shut up. To those who are locked in cages and forced to leave their dreams and their loved ones behind for conservative Republican political agenda, aka deportation back to Mexico whenever they are from respectively. I'm talking to those who can't afford health care to support their families and go to work, school under the capitalism regime, aka the U.S. economy, which Gage supports. Those who are victimized by the 1%, the rich, and, next page, those with white privilege who look down on the middle and lower classes in the world. Those who are homeless and who are needy, who Gage admitted to hate. I don't hate the homeless. I feel bad for a lot of them. But I don't feel bad for you because you're a shitty person. Those who are abused, who died at the hands of racist and corrupted cops that Gage supports. Is that your argument? You think every cop is racist? You think every time someone gets killed by the cops? Actually, if you look at it, more white people are killed by the cops every year. Now, most of the shootings are justified, but that's statistic per capita. The LGBTP plus community, who Gage thinks are faggots and child predators. No, I call pedophiles child predators. I've never once said that the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender people were child predators. And there are some people who are trans, who are child, like Jessica Yaniv, who is trans, is a child predator. Same thing with Kai, Onision's husband/wife, whatever they call the foot now, is a child predator. But that does not mean every trans person is a child predator. Just like how not every white person is a homophobe, or a racist, or a Christian, or a conservative. You're the one applying all these things to people based upon race, and saying that those that occupy a certain race have to be all of these things because you're a racist. Those who are abused, murdered, beaten, hung, etc. because of their sexuality or gender identity. Gage hates transgender people and all those who take gender studies in order to put an end to gender disparity in our society. Okay, well, where's the gender disparity? The wage gap was disproven umpteen times. College rape culture is a bunch of bullshit unicorn nonsense that only appears when people need it to, and then it disappears when they ask about it for proof. I mean, essentially, a lot of the shit that you talk about doesn't make anything work. And the reason that gender studies is not a good major to go in is because you're not really learning life skills that actually help you. You're not becoming an electrical engineer. You're not becoming a scientist or a doctor or a zoologist. You're not doing shit with your life if you go into gender studies. I am talking to the women who don't get fair treatment and who are treated less than everybody else by fools like Gage. Again, just because I call you a dumb fuck doesn't mean that doesn't mean I treat all women the same. Fuckwit. And you're not a woman. You're not a woman. Because you're not actually getting the surgery. You're not taking HRT. You're essentially just assuming the identity of a transgender person because you hide behind that whenever people call you an idiot. Those who suffer from their bodies being controlled by men, just like Gage. Actually, I'm pro-choice. Fuckface. Gage is no better than Brett Kavanaugh or Donald Trump, both who use their white privilege in order to exploit the American people, cheat in presidential elections, and abuse liberals, the LGBT community, women, immigrants, and the like. Just like Gage supports practices his everyday lifestyle, Gage then tries to ignore everything that is going on, just like Senator Lindsey Graham, because conservatives, Republicans are all the same. Okay, let me get this straight. People are not allowed to disagree with you. And you say that if someone treats a group like they're all the same, then it's racist. Well, isn't it racist in and of itself to assume that a group of people who are all white, that you've just mentioned are all white, wouldn't it be racist to call them, say that they're all the same? Or is it only racist if the other guy does it? Make up your mind, bitch boy. They are loud, rude, annoying, 99% wrong, defensive, racist, discriminatory, and uneducated. By uneducated, I mean, yes, they may have finished college, but they have no idea what they are talking about, nor do they understand. Well, wait a minute, how does someone not understand what they're talking about if they've actually completed school to study a certain type of subject? That doesn't make any sense. You're contradicting yourself again. Anything about real in the world, just like Gage. I wonder if Gage will ever be free from the systematic brainwashing that he is a slave to. Only time will tell, but freedom comes from those who will be free. Gage doesn't seem to have the will nor the intelligence to be free. Only enough brain power to be a good and obedient slave. Rip and tear. I mean, is that your only argument, Spaz Boy, that because people learn from public school? Like, where did you learn? Were you never taught about how old you were getting in public school early on? Did your mother just have you sitting in the corner eating paste and stuffing crayons up your nose your whole life? Like shitting into a diaper because you're so fucking incompetent that you can't even use a bathroom? I mean, seriously, dude. You sound like a fucking loon. Chapter 8, the Ann FishEyes Show. Oh, you mean the Ann FishEyes Show. Because Gage and his corrupt YouTube with their fake news propaganda and acts of censorship. Gage would make these inaccurate videos about people, yet would censor the comment section, aka deleting comments that did not add up to his political narrative. No, it's because of the fact that when you start spamming the comments of videos that have nothing to do with you, essentially pissing and moaning to get attention when people stopped wanting to deal with you. I mean, people didn't want to deal with you, so they just started blocking you because they wanted to leave you in the rearview mirror. They wanted to stop talking about you and leave you the fuck behind because people were honestly getting sick and tired of having you invade their comments every 3 days on a loop, trying to get their attention. And I finally just got tired of having to argue with the same bullshit argumentation where when you say something and then you say you prove what you say just by saying it, but that doesn't mean jack shit. So everyone reasonably got tired of it and just said fuck off and leave everyone alone. Because Gage is stubborn and is protesting positive change on his behalf for the sake of those who he victimized on the daily. I decided to circumvent Gage madness and talk directly to the people who actually matter. The citizens of this planet, aka Earth. Why waste my time trying to get closed-minded fool who abused Amos Yee for speaking the truth to listen to me when I can go and tell the intelligent human race what is going on in the world? Because Gage, stupidity, and depressive attitude, and Shania Show podcast was born. Gage has no control over my podcast or my books, so my constitutional rights to free speech protected by from anti-free speech conservative like Gage and others. Again, just because people criticize you and disagree with you and point out how your arguments make no fucking sense doesn't mean that they're lying or trying to censor you. It means they're simply scrutinizing what you say. Scrutiny is a natural part of discourse. You went to Anchor because people can't leave comments. I mean, that's exactly why. That's exactly why. You went to Anchor because people can't post comments directly on your postings. You went someplace where people wouldn't be able to simply point out the shit you've said in the past and link stuff that you've said in the past that they've archived. You're essentially trying to discard your identity and discard all the things you've said before, back when you had that identity and you wore it around all the time. And you basically make a giant fucking excuse saying, I'm not that person anymore, despite the fact that you still are. Failure is for the fools, and I will never let Gage make a fool out of me. Technically you do every time you write one of these, because it just makes something easy for me to pick apart and laugh at and point out the failings of your ideologies. One step ahead of Gage, conservative cult for GC2 for short, which includes Gage. When we celebrated Amos's birthday on the October 31st, 2019, Gage and his conservative medias harassed my YouTube channel, especially the comment section of Shania Show, a special happy birthday cast. ABA2 show Heartless and Hatred never takes a break. Despite their foolishness, Amos E birthday cast was a huge success. Despite the negative reactions from the conservative right, which included the GC2 Gage. Have you ever thought that no... Okay, so who would... Like, no one said shit about that because no one cared. No one cared. You made it some big fucking deal like the entire planet was supposed to give a fuck that it was his birthday instead of people that knew him personally, which makes no sense. See, it's this person's birthday! Okay, and? Like, why does everyone else have to care except the people that actually know him? There's no fucking point. There's no point. It was that time we started building a systematic equation around Gage. Systematic equation? What is this? Are we going to include some coefficients in this too? We basically marked it off of Gage's stupidity, and that counted as my restitution for all the crap Gage has poisoned me with for 3 years. Believe me, if I poisoned you, it would kill you a lot sooner. But I would make sure you'd vomit and shit yourself a lot first. Because it was Gage who made contact with me, not the other way around, as Gage loves to lie about. Just because you're an asshole and you make it a point to screech and ree, 3 years ago on October 10th, October 22nd, 2017, Gage made contact with me. I never heard of him, nor did I know he even existed. Was the first stranger seemed cool to me. I never talked to you in 2017, you stupid cunt. The only reason I said anything fucking at all about you, you dipshit, was because you appeared in Justin's fucking comments screeching and reeing because he mocked Amos Yee. He criticized Amos Yee, and you popped up in his comments screeching for days at a fucking time. But he seemed cool to me. I never met a guy with such a poor choice in clothing as Gage did, but I did not judge him or do him ill will to him, and I showed him respect. Sadly, however, he did not do the same for me. He had posted a video on his Gage the Doom Guy YouTube channel about someone who I believe was Amos Yee, and it was the first time I was exposed to the famous hate speech, verbal abuse, only known for Gage. No, that's not what you said, you stupid bitch. Stupid bitch. Stupid bitch. Lying little bitch. Ugly bitch. Lying ugly bitch. Lying ugly fish bitch. That's what you are, lying ugly fish bitch. That's your new name. LYFB. Lying ugly fish bitch. The only thing I said was at the time was please stop bullying people in regard to his bullying of AMOC, which is documented in the first and second book not service series, both of which are sold on Amazon, and then years later it was in his Ultimate Gauge via his YouTube Gauge the Doom Guy channel. No, that's not all you said. When you had spats with people, including myself, in Thrash Metal Groove's comment section regarding your debate, you went to people, straight up saying that them being sexually assaulted as teenagers didn't happen to them, saying that it was not a crime for what those people did to them, and saying that they should have enjoyed it. That's what you did. And stop lying. He was bullying AMOC because he was Asian and because he was not born in America, but in Singapore. Singapore is a whole lot better than America will ever be. Then go there and shut the fuck up. Because the conservatives are tampering with American progress into the 21st century, always knowing Gage as they do. Gage will react impulsively without considering the consequences of his actions and how his actions will affect humanity. Disagreeing with you is not going to change. It's not going to cause a ripple effect. This isn't like the butterfly effect where you make one statement that it magically affects everyone around you just by walking into the fucking pool. So, as Gage is going on and on about Amos supporting the LGBT people community instead of the conservative right in very colorful, bad language, I, who stands up against bullying and their supporters, replied in the comment section of the video in question, stop bullying Amos and leave him alone. And then he got mad for the next 3 years, where it would be a war between the conservative Gage and his liberals, myself, and everyone else with a brain. How about you stab yourself in the fucking mouth with a knife? Seriously, why don't you just do the world a favor and carve your own mouth open? Seriously, just get a knife and make yourself a nice little Glasgow smile. I love how you're lying. Like, really, really bad. Like, you are lying so fucking hard that if you were to lie any harder, you'd be falling through the ground. Here's the thing. You didn't tell people to stop bullying Amos. You didn't. You said that, like, long after the fact, after you instigated a bunch of bullshit back and forth with people, when people told you in no uncertain terms to shut your fucking mouth. You're the one that always makes a bunch of bullshit fucking excuses about whether or not it's okay for you to bullshit someone about their problems. And that's the thing. You go above and beyond to lie about people every chance you get. After 3 years, Amos, he is still the cool, intelligent person that he was 3 years ago. I am still doing the service to the community and protecting the innocent people from the conservative mayhem that the people in that Gage creates in order to destroy the lives of others. So the only person who has changed for the worse is Gage. The people who have tried to change, Gage tried to change has not changed at all. You mean have not changed at all, fuckface. But Gage instead changed his own life, which is not his original intention. So his mission was a complete failure. And against the LGBT community, they're stronger than ever. My life just blessed. Here's the thing. Amos was not supporting the gay community. He was making an argument for pedophiles. He was making the argument for pedophiles, trying to advocate for them raping children. Fuck off. My life is just as blessed as it was 3 years ago. Amos' EA life is still cool, and the only one who's suffering is begging people to leave me alone is Gage. Yeah, you know, when I don't want to be pestered with your inane bullshit again and I tell you to fuck off because you're wasting my time and antagonizing the shit out of me, that's the same thing as having a mental breakdown in an alleyway, getting the shit kicked out of you by a bunch of thugs. Ooh. All of Gage hatred backfired on him, all because Gage hatred changes nothing. Just because Gage yells and curses a lot does not mean that I have to do what he wants. There's a difference between saying you have to do what someone wants and then there's just simply saying, dude, fuck off and leave me alone. It just means that Gage hasn't learned to use his inside voice yet. Oh, you mean like this? You stupid fuck. AKA, the liberals went against Gage in the GC2 cult. You can't really win what was never a war. It wasn't a war. It was a bunch of people telling you to fuck off and stop pestering them after a couple years because they realized it wasn't worth their fucking time to deal with your antagonism. Really, that's all you are. You're a fucking antagonist and a sociopathic little fuck. Chapter 9, Gage is jealous of my success. Yeah, success. You know, when you're obsessed with a motherfucker to the point to where you dox them repeatedly, you try to dox their loved ones, you try to dox their friends, you start trying to dox their location because you're a stupid faggot who needs to constantly try to threaten people with fucking harm by essentially saying, I got your name, I can use that against you. You dipshit. It is well known that Gage is just jealous of me. Why would I be jealous of you? You have nothing going on in your life. That's why you do this shit. It's the only thing that keeps you alive. Gage is the one who docks people, not me. Did you dox me multiple times in this faggoty little book? I mean, seriously. You've said my legal name in this more times than I've said my own legal name in my entire life. That's saying something. He attacks me for no actual reason. Gage is clearly jealous and is terrible at hiding it. Gage is now not new to failure, but this failure sets him back because the secret is an important cover-up. If well known, Gage destroyed political movement of reputation in conservative circles, which includes the GCU. Gage hates writers, publishers, authors, and researchers because those things represent knowledge. That stops Gage believes in his tracks. Gage says thousands of things that are clearly not true, and if the knowledge Gage is lying, Gage already knows that is at a loss, which hurts him, but instead benefits the world. I know what I am talking about, yet Gage threatens to hurt me unless I stay silenced about his escapades. No, I just simply say to stop fucking lying about people, calling them white supremacists and shit because you're a dipshit who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about 90% of the time. Here's the thing, if you want to call me straight and white and a male, yeah, those three things are right. But if the moment you start calling someone a conservative and a racist and all these other things just because they happen to be those three things beforehand, you're an idiot, a liar, a slanderer, a cunt. Honestly, seeing how Gage is deep with all that he has done, I'm no longer afraid of him, nor should anyone listen to him. Remember, Gage is a bully and intimidation is his game. Never give in to the request of Gage because your life depends on having no relations with him. So what you're saying is that I'm immediately a threat to someone else's well-being just because I call you a dipshit. Gage hates people who cry because he abused them, let alone people who cry, period. He mocks those who are suffering by stating, cry bitch, re, which clearly shows his uneducated state because he can't use proper English or express himself. Does not involve him making retarded noises like re. Have you ever considered, dipshit, that the reason I use the word re is because it describes someone screeching and freaking the fuck out when they can't prove their own arguments true? You idiot. The fact is, Gage did something stupid, and I am telling the world about it. That's it. He called me a mean name on the internet, and I need to hold on to my ass hurt for 9 volumes so I make money. Because if I admit that I'm parasitically leeching off of this, I'll die. I'll starve in the streets. People need to protect themselves from bullies, and Gage is one of them. A bully, I mean. Fuck off. I am calling him out for his mistakes against innocent people. Ad. AD, not and. And he has to own up to his foolishness whether he likes it or not. Making hour-long videos does not change the fact Gage is guilty. Cursing and swearing does not undo the damage that Gage inflicted on humanity. Oh, humanity! Yeah, the entire human population is suffering because I called some retarded pedophile a faggot. All these things are doing is making him look more guilty. A simple apology and disappearing from the internet is all that the victims want. I will kill you. Yeah, I'm gonna make you go away off the internet, or I'm gonna keep threatening you. I hope someone snaps your spine in half while you're still conscious. I hope that someone steps on your back while you're unconscious just enough to paralyze you from the waist down and then throws you into a pool so you can drown slowly. The thought of your lungs filling up with chloridated water makes me feel nothing but happy. Seriously, you're just a legitimately shit person. At every capacity. Which including how easy to call if Gage took this seriously instead of making jokes at the expense of the suffering of others, and this incident would have been over a long time ago and everyone can go back to their lives. You don't have a life. But Gage never thinks logically, only compulsively. He never thinks about long term. He only sees what's in front of him. Gage's lifestyle backfired on him. Now he has to rebuild and retool. Hopefully Gage will not make the same mistakes twice. Fuck off. People think that Gage and his cult are insane. and out of their minds to waste their lives doing trivial evil acts against random innocent people with no connection to him, Gage whatsoever. Coming from the bitch who essentially does the same shit when people tell him he's a dumbass. Among other thoughts, Gage isn't the most attractive person. He's quite ugly, in fact. Look in the fucking mirror. His hatred radiates from inside of his soul to outside. All you can see is a sweaty, pale individual who yells a lot for no reason and who abuses people at a whim. Gage does not believe in being civil. He believes in humanity. Is not worth being civil, especially when SJWs, the faggots, and the liberal left. This is why conservatives have such a bad reputation. Think about that. Gage goes out of his way to tell you who you can and cannot be friends with, who you can and cannot have sex with, who you are and who you can't be. That's 100% authoritarianism. No, I think it's not okay to fuck children. I don't care who you're friends with at all. But I'm just saying, if your friend does some really fucked up, sketchy shit, you might not want to think about being around them because it could fuck your life up too. Hence, Gage. Oh, look, you're doxing me again. Attempt at world domination. World domination. So what you're saying is because I disagree with sick fuck child rapists, it's the same thing as having a dictatorship? I don't have drones or bombs or guns or tanks. I'm not trying to dominate the world. I'm not trying to dominate anything. I'm just simply saying that you're a fucking lunatic. It's best that Gage keeps his mouth shut before there's an international incident. Prepare for another Holocaust. International incident? Because I call you a dumb fuck? Nobody's obligated to listen to me. Yeah, you're right. No one's obligated to listen to you either, though. He's a nut job and a fraud, and he's terrible at that, too. Oh, how am I a fraud? I'm not the one making up slander and selling it for a price tag. Live your life how you want to because only you know what's best for you. Well, what about therapists and medical professionals and law enforcement? Do they not know what's best for you? Gage is pushing the devil's work and clearly will be the death of you. Oppression is no laughing matter. A person's sex life is not the business of Gage, nor is Gage any form of God. I've never once tried to say that, but you seem to be trying to paint me as the devil, so what does that make you? Nobody on earth deserves what Gage is doing to them. There is no excuse for Gage behavior, and the world will never change in favor of Gage. Militant, authoritarian, political agenda. Aren't you the dumb fuck that's essentially trying to say the world needs to turn into a communist or socialistic shithole just so you can sit there and get whatever you want out of it? I mean, the only reason you want socialism is so you can sit down, suck your thumb, and make money from doing nothing. You're a loser. Nobody cares what a person takes a picture of. That's not Gage business. It is when you start taking pictures from people's fucking personal Facebook profiles and posting them all over the place, potentially doxing their face and causing them harm. You dick. The fact that Gage is snooping through other people's personal lives, which includes their sex lifestyle choices, is perverted on Gage's part and a violation of humanity's right to privacy. Well, wait a minute. If simply saying it's not okay to fuck children is a right to privacy, then how is it not violating someone else's right to privacy when you start leaking people's legal names and these little turds in an attempt to get people to harass them? Is it a violation of privacy only if you do it or if everyone else does it? I mean, really, you're just a hypocritical douche. Gage clearly supports a surveillance state alongside a conservative authoritarian state, all merged together under the description of capitalism. Have you tried swallowing razor blades yet? Gage, by down, should just say, forget about this stupid agenda, just walk away, because Gage is really close to being hated like Donald Trump, but Gage does not know how to just walk away and live his life, whatever is left. Because Gage has no intelligence and no life. Again, you wrote 8 books about the same motherfucker because your ass mad they called you a faggot, but this person has no life. Which is why he spends more than an hour hanging out and making weird, retarded noises in response to his victims of this tragic event that Gage caused, aka bullying and harassing and destroying the livelihood of the innocent, and then making up stupid, pointless, and illogical excuses for his actions. Your personal business is controlled by me, and I don't care what you think. I never once said anyone's personal business was my business. I'm just saying that if you make it a point to post all of your dirty laundry online, people are going to say something about it. Gage does not seem to realize that his movement is a waste of time and that he should just walk away before it's too late. But people like Gage want to sink with the ship. Hatred blinds you from the reality, and the pure minded will see the truth. See the truth, guys. See the truth. What is your obsession with the truth? Because nothing you've said is objective. It's not. All it is you trying your damnedest to paint the other as a racist, as a homophobe, as a Nazi, as a xenophobe, as a white supremacist, because they call you ugly and stupid, and because they oppose people fucking little children. You lying little shit. God, why don't you fucking die? Gage is annoying and a waste of air and space. He can't even read a book straight through without being biased and speaking unintelligent banter. Well, maybe if you read something that was actually worth the shit, I wouldn't need to make jokes about it, you fuckface. Age never existed. By Gage is a bully. You mean butt fuckface. Jesus fucking Christ, you're so fucking stupid. You're so goddamn dumb, it's not even possible. How are you this fucking stupid? Are you stupid or crazy? A little bit of both. I'm starting to think it's a little bit of both. Just a little bit of both. Yet Gage focuses on non-existent than the things that are actually real. Nobody cares about Gage's delusion. What humanity wants is an end to the racial injustice that Gage and the conservatives have inflicted on humanity. It's not racial injustice because people call you ugly. Nobody should be bullied or criticized. So what you're saying is no one should be allowed to pick apart someone's arguments and point out their failings when those arguments are being used to potentially champion child rape. Mind your own business, Gage, and take care of your own life. How about I crush your fucking skull beneath my talons? Stay in your own lane and stay out of the lives of others. Their lives are not your life, and your life is not theirs. Then why the fuck are you trying to tell me what to do with my life, shitface? So deal with it. Gage is a bully. He admitted to it. Now he shall suffer the consequences, whatever they may be. May the odds be ever in your favor. Oh, you're gonna steal something from the Hunger Games, you plagiaristic cunt. Oh, look, plagiarism. Right there. Plagiarizing. You stupid shit. Chapter 9. Gage the bullying conservative. Oh, the bullying conservative. Okay. Gage thinks that age somehow makes it okay for him to bully others. No, I'm saying that if you've been alive long enough to understand that criticism is going to be part of being online, that you would at least have the balls to admit the fact that being criticized is understandable when you say a whole bunch of insane things. That's somehow random numbers will make this destructive acts against humanity appropriate. No, I'm saying that someone that's been alive long enough to maturely understand their situation should at least be competently able to understand why people are saying shit about them the way that they are. Guess what, fool? That's not how life works. Bullying is wrong, period. No matter what numbers you throw around. Age never existed, but the hatred that festers in the mind, body, and spirit is as real as the traffic on the street. On the 101 Kielbasa rush hour. Numbers will not save you, Gage. Your lies and personal deceptions will not free you, Gage. Your cult of conservatives and others will never help you, Gage. Gage. Can you stop sucking my dick? Fuckface. That will help you is to confess your sins and free your mind, because dead or alive, the world will continue to function without you. Nothing has changed in your favor, and nothing will ever change in your favor. The only way to change is yourself, and yourself only. Fuck yourself. Gage therefore failed from day one. I'm not entirely sure what the original plan was with all this, but nevertheless, Gage failed. Where the conservatives fail, society succeeds. Within the 3 years of babbling and hateful nonsense, nothing has gotten done in Gage's favor. It's simply been a matter of telling you to fuck off and stop pestering people. And you don't. In fact, a lot has been done against Gage's favor. For example, the idea of this book was motivated by Gage's lack of self-control and non-stop hypocrisy. He became a catalyst for the non-service series, the Demingokshnia Corporation, and even the Hastantha religion. So you based an entire religion on your ass hurt. Good to see you're that fucking crazy. Gage hatred unified the victims to create a better, stable nation and created an environment that made Gage a direct competitor. Right. We took fight directly to the doorstep of Gage and his goons. We turned the tables on tyranny, exposed the surveillance state, and sent Gage running to the hills screaming, "Leave me alone!" No, it's just the fact is when you continue to dox someone repeatedly after they say shut the fuck up and stop pestering me. Now Gage does not feel to be put in the spotlight involving something that should have never happened to begin with, meaning that Gage should have never took it upon himself to be a puppeteer in the lives of others, whether Gage agreed with lifestyle choices or not. Fuckface. It was never the responsibility of Gage to bully anyone because Gage decided to have a problem with something that wasn't their both business to begin with. Yeah, you know what? Some sick fuck goes around saying that child rape should be legal, saying that baby porn should be legal, and someone says that person's a retarded sick fuck, and you make it a point to start sucking that person's chode off because you're a sick fuck who wants to diddle children. Needless to say, if there is a hell, I hope you'll end up there. In the hottest, most demon-infested precinct of hell there is, provided there is such a place. And I hope that when you go there, I'm the first one that sends you there. Gage being held accountable for his actions, a lack of judgment on Gage part. Gage went off on manipulated innocent people for not being conservatives and living the lifestyle that was mandated by his belief system. Oh look, you actually used the right word. Instead of believe, you said belief for the first time ever. Good job, dumb fuck. Gage created this cover-up and slander campaign that basically says these people are horrible people only because they deny the ways of the doctrine that orders us humanity to live. No, it's because they were straight up condoning raping children or fucking animals. Or abusing animals. Or grooming children. Or they were abusing the shit out of their partners like Jim Soroka. But remember, all these people who have done terrible things to others immediately deserve the utmost respect and the utmost care. They deserve bigly baby treatment. Cause some fish-headed fuckhead decides he needs to throw a tantrum. You are a nasty man. A nasty man. You are a nasty man. And I think China would have you killed. Donald, get out of here. Sorry, my bad. Jesus fucking Christ. Gage was the only one beside the DD running around like a headless chicken trying to rally a digital ideological hit squad through all the times motivated to assassinate the character of these people. All the very only... Right. Basically, whatever. Again, these 3 years of drama over nothing. 3-year temper tantrum over something that has nothing to do with Gage or its cult, which is only created because Gage has limited resources and is highly lazy. Right. When you straight up say that it's fuck off and die. The hate coming out is 100% real. However, the stories Gage tells in his YouTube videos about how people are pedophiles and child molesters are not true. And there is more than fake news conservatives like Gage are well known, nor are they any real evidence to prove anyone did anything at all at any time. Despite the fact that these dumb fucks straight up admitted that they thought it was okay to fuck kids. And some of these people actually admitted to molesting children. You dumb fuck. Yeah, remember, like when these people admit to grooming children and asking children for nudes, completely okay to do that in his mind. Real evidence. Well, what is your idea of real evidence? If someone, okay, let's see. Gage is well known to make fake screenshots of fake accounts that he made with his enemy's name on it, and he tries to pass it off as theirs. Gage did that to me multiple times. However, he stopped when he was reported to YouTube for spam on his video, got taken down, which was not fake anything because YouTube is real. No, I'm saying that when you issue a report under false pretenses, that's what they mean by issuing a false report. It's when you issue a report under false pretenses, you stupid fuck. What Gage did in order to be reported is real. Gage YouTube channel is real. The only thing that is fake is Gage's attitude and his excuse for being the way he is. So what you're saying is that if you issue a whole bunch of reports under a false pretense because you know you're a lying little fuck, like that works. Okay, fuck off. Everyone that Gage talks about in his videos are innocent. Everyone who accuses of wrongdoing are innocent. Okay, so let me get this straight. People who straight up admit that they diddle children are innocent. People who've straight up admitted that they've raped someone are innocent. People who straight up film themselves beating the shit out of their girlfriend are innocent. People who film themselves doing all these things are innocent because you say so, right, fuckface? Gage is the only guilty one, and his cultural accessory to his crimes against humanity. Gage is a mastermind of lying. He has no integrity or respect for the LGBTP plus community, any group that Gage doesn't understand. However, I am the mastermind of exposing the truth. Gage has been exposed, and now justice will prevail, and left is individual and or community disposition of the people. Naturally, Gage will and bicker like a retard. Oh, go fuck yourself, you stupid cocksmoker. You're the one going above and beyond to cry for stupid bullshit because people told you to stop pestering them about nothing. How the world did him wrong and how everyone else is to blame for his own personal problems. But do not be persuaded by Satan devices. Yeah, Satan devices. You know, if someone calls you a moron for saying crazy, stupid things, it means they're possessed by the devil. Seriously, are you one of these, like, closet religious fanatics and you just don't want to admit it? Gage only wants attention, so don't give it to him. One day he will get tired of being wrong and ignored, and Gage will be forced into silence. Finally, we the people, humanity, human beings, etc., can live our lives peacefully, and finally freedom of speech will return to YouTube once more. Thank God for that. I thought you said God didn't exist. Do you believe in a God or don't you? Like, are you a deist? Do you believe that there's some type of creating, like some sort of divine creator that we're not aware of? Or is that all a lie? Like, do you just make up shit around the clock and then you can't decide what your own lies are anymore? Yeah, remember, when you just keep continuously lying about what you believe and what you don't believe, it just makes it so much easier for everyone to understand you. Here's the thing, free speech was never gone from YouTube. People report what people say when they start saying some really sus shit, not because they're trying to censor what the person is saying, but because they're concerned by what the person might be trying to champion. Saying something is not what makes people report you, but it's the fact that you then try to condone the ever-loving shit out of it does. Chapter 10, The Odd Squad. Gage has put everyone on high alert for 3 years. Now that Gage and his cult are found guilty of their crimes and burdened for taking care of Gage is a responsibility of the people, communities in question, other than myself or my team. We can relax at once. As exciting as it was to expose bad guys like Gage, I thought you said that there was no such thing as good or bad, so why are you calling a person the bad guy now, fuckface? And it is now emotionally draining and stressful. To be honest, I have forgotten what it's like to have a life without Gage attacking me, which is odd because for 3 years I prayed to God that Gage and his cult will disappear and stop bullying humanity, so that we can live in the fullest peacefully instead of wishing that Gage was dead. Oh, so you have wished that I was dead. Oh, I love how you finally admitted that. You finally fucking admitted it. It took you that long to fucking admit it. Weird, huh? It took you that long to admit the fact that you don't like me. And you can't even just straight up say, yeah, I think this person's kind of an asshole. Instead, it's like, no, I secretly pray that he's dead, but I'm better than him because I did it in secret. Let's face it, you're actually worse than I am, but you won't admit it because you're an asshole. You're a fucking coward in denial that he's an asshole. Downgrading our alert status is a blessing because it means now we can focus on real projects that expands our minds and our intellectual quota. Quota? What, you think you have to meet like a certain criteria before X amount of months, you moron? I can get back into running my podcast, the On Shithead Show. I'm sorry, the And FishEyes Show. Oh, the And Shithead Show, okay. I can travel again. I can get a good night's sleep. I haven't seen much of my friends for those 3 years because I was afraid that Gage would harm my friends and my family, as he has done to Amos Yee and others. Gage is a violent, highly dangerous individual, so I protect them by staying away from them, which is also a safety protocol when a dangerous subject has known the control of your life like Gage. Dude, your family is not my fucking concern. The only thing I would tell your family is some of the stuff you've been saying. And I think you know that. I think you know I would be explaining to people what it is you've been saying when you've been out on your own. And they'd probably make you get psychological treatment. I think the only reason you weren't involved with your family around the time is because A, they want nothing to fucking do with you. Or B, which is just as likely, you don't want people to mention the kind of shit you've been saying. Because if people start hearing the fact that you started championing pedophilia and championing child molestation and bestiality and incest, then people might send you to a psych ward. And I think that's why you avoided people that might actually have some real impact on your life. Is because you know that if people get word of what you say, it might look bad. There are a lot of movies that I would like to catch up on. My screenplay needs revision, and I would like to protest against the corrupt police and forces in America because I believe, unlike Gage, that Black Lives Matter. I never once said that a person's race made their life any less valuable than anyone else's. Again, you're just putting words in someone else's mouth because you're a retard. You need to constantly say that everyone else is the villain. There's always a chance that some other idiot will try to take Gage's seat in power, but I doubt that, seeing how I've created an environment where those who do harm to people will be held accountable by their peers. There are consequences for bullying or criticizing people. That's it. So feel free to love who you want to love, but don't spread hate. Hate kills, love heals. Learn to live it. Teach it to others. I enjoy writing, and everything I write is 100% true, unless otherwise noted. Which is why you say a whole bunch of shit about someone that's patently untrue, and then you say that you secretly wish they were dead, but you don't have the balls to say it out loud because you're a fucking coward. Based on my personal victimhood, like 2 words, like instead of just victimhood as a compound word, by Gage and a DD cult, witness accounts by those other than me who have been victimized by Gage and or whistleblower account knowing Gage DC2 cult. Yeah, the whistleblower, which is basically just you under another name because no one else fucking cared. All sources are protected under international privacy laws and local laws based on a person's country, respectively. Therefore, none of these books are considered slander. However, Gage has been held accountable for slander against the LGBTP plus community, myself, and others who are unlucky enough to have met Gage. Yeah, where's sue me? Fucking sue me. Where are your little faggy policemen who are gonna come and get me for this? I wish everyone learns to get along and not make the same mistake that Gage or anyone who has his convictions. You have the right to think differently, but you don't have the right to bully someone for thinking differently. It's not a matter of thinking differently, it's a matter of the fact that you started down insulting people and attacking them as a person after they disagreed with you that caused them to attack you, you dumb fuck. Anyone who has conservatives has his convictions. You have the right. Okay, let's see here. Which includes being a liberal. I don't care. In the LGBTP plus community who gains hates with a passion for the destruction of Asians, etc. I don't care if you're Asian or not. I don't care if you're gay or not. Acting like Gage will get you in trouble or dead. So I'm not allowed to call someone an idiot. You're not allowed to call a spade a spade. Or you'll just magically die. Some people don't handle bullying lightly, and they are not afraid to hurt you. Keep yourself safe by respecting others and keeping the peace. So what you're saying is that if someone's advocating fucking little children, you're just supposed to ignore that and bite your tongue and not say, dude, no, fuck no, this is fucking messed up. What is wrong with you? Yeah, be a pussy. Let people condone child rape and be a pussy. And don't say shit about it. And don't try to disagree with it or point out the failings of this argument. No. Just be a pussy. Just let people do whatever the fuck they want to your children and whatever the fuck they want to their siblings or their parents. Let some sick fuck rape their siblings or their family members. Let sick fucks rape children and animals. I'll tell you what. Let's just say fuck all the laws, fuck all the rules, fuck all standards of human morality or human decency. Just throwing that completely out the fucking window. Let's have just one giant fucking horrible pedophilic bestiality fucking erotic gangbang. Why not? Fish fucker said it's okay. Intelligent people respect diversity, but fools like Gage discriminate against those who are different. Don't be a Gage. Be who you want to be. Well, if you're telling people to be who they want to be, who are you to tell people what they should and shouldn't be? You control your own destiny, not Gage or any other conservatives. Love who you want to love, and if they, the conservatives, even Gage himself, report him. Let's see. report him, block him, delete him from your life, and forget about him because Gage isn't worth anything. He's a bully, a con artist, a fool who wants to make society his chew toy. Chew toy? These conservatives are uncivilized, but you do not have to be. The future belongs to the intelligent, not the foolish. Gage is the past, but we are the future. But good things cannot come if we allow pessimistic conservatives like Gage to control us. What is it with all the doxing? And the hand of personal lives. The good things come for those who do good things. Gage already has bad karma, so don't get all twisted in his next page. Games. Do not bow down to the devil's minions. Gage in the GC2. But love those around you and bring peace and goodwill to all society. Age never existed and never will. Gage complained about and whine about till the day he dies, but he will never change the fact that age never existed. What does exist is free will, knowledge, and wisdom, and intelligence. These things can never be censored by numbers of any kind. If you are intelligent and continue to do so, you are brainwashed and lost in your ways like Gage. Then stop it. Take control of your own life. Leave all people alone and gain knowledge. So what you're saying is that if anyone just thinks differently from you, they need to just change their own lives. If you're a drag queen, but your friends won't let you, you need new friends. Well, you don't have to be friends with people who degrade you because you would do drag. I'm not going to deny that. Like, people, your friends should not be, like, running you down for that. If you want to be a drag queen, but your parents won't let you, you need new parents. Yeah, just get new parents. Just get new fucking parents. Just get new parents. Just get new parents. Yeah, just go to, like, Walmart or Target and buy yourself a new mom and dad. It's one thing if you're an adult and they won't let you, but it's one thing if you're a teenager. Unfortunately, they have final say, even if you necessarily don't agree with it. But once you're on your own, it's your business what you do. If Gage tells you you can't be a drag queen and then makes up lies, numbers, bans you from being who you want to be, destroy all communications with him if you are part of the LGBT plus community. Foolish people like Gage or the conservatives bully you and tells you that you're a faggot, you're a pussy, sissy, you are nothing, go fuck yourself, kill yourself, you're an abomination, etc. Like Gage has said to me because I'm a transgender Asian woman, it hurts. It has to be because I'm these things that I made up inside my head. It can't be because I'm a shitty person. No, it has to be because of all these other things. Because I'm not a shitty person, despite the fact that I am, all the time. Yeah, you're totally not a shitty person, despite the fucking fact that you are. Like, all the fucking time. For no reason except for the fact that you want to be. Meaning that addressing idiots like Gage will only hurt you, because these people, true intentions are to make you suffer, period. So instead of dealing with their red tape and hatred, lies, and persecution, go and appeal to people who actually cares about you and who has actual intelligence. Your therapists, teachers, union workers, pastors, friends, priests, family, friends, your wife, husband, your boyfriend, girlfriend, social workers, your mayor, your governors, village leaders, magistrates, prime minister, president, chancellors, United States, God, Allah, Buddhist monks, etc. All are resources of hope, love, wisdom, spiritual support, and understanding. In a lot of cases, they will supply you with legal support, like how Deming Gokshiniya does for victims of persecution by conservatives. Which is why Gage has a file as big as an encyclopedia volume, why Gage is deemed a hate group by the NAACP and other organizations, both inside and outside the Democratic Republic of Ding Dong. Yeah, remember, your made-up country defines someone as a hate group or a cult because you're crazy and stupid. Okay. I didn't realize your own little parasitic delusions rewrote reality on a whim. They deemed to hate the NAACP, yeah. Yeah, you know, because the North American African, like the National African American, wait, NAACP, Advancement Coalition, like, yeah. Like, you know for a fact that the coalition designed to improve the rights of African Americans gives so much of a fuck about what some bespectacled Jew says about some retarded, ugly asshole. I don't think they'd give a single fuck about what I say. At all. Because I don't mind if someone's black. I don't care. Race is irrelevant. And the fact that you keep making it about race shows us how much of a fucking racist you are. Ironic, isn't it, that the person making everything about race is the racist? Even if you are a Democrat on the liberal side, pedosexual. I thought you said pedosexual. Right, you said pedophiles didn't exist, but pedosexuals do, despite the fact that you like pedo meaning child in Greek, sexual meaning someone who's sexually attracted to that. Pansexual, genderqueer, asexual, bisexual, or third gender, cross-dresser, sissy boy, effeminate, respectively. Here's the thing. Asexual means that you don't have sexual attraction to anyone. Beast is sexual. Oh, you mean a sick animal fucker? Just say it, a sick fuck animal fucker. And a pedosexual is just a sick fuck child molester. Respectively, porn star, prostitute, bus driver, actor, actress, Indian, Nigerian, freethinker, European electrician, bodybuilder, a furry, businessman, a woman, which includes those in the LGBT community. Okay, so he more or less goes into a long list of sexual race or epithets where he whines and cries and bitch and screeches and screeching and reeing about a bunch of nonsense. I'm not trying to control anyone's life, fuckface. I'm just disagreeing with the fact that you're a psychotic moron who continues to tell himself that everyone else is always the problem. Let's see, so naturally nobody is on his side. I'm not talking about the brainwashed Gage is still managing, or the brain dead conservatives who will follow Gage off a cliff. At least it will be quiet now, and instead people are against him. By people, I mean more than one person. Okay, so more or less it goes into a little political rant about how I'm always the problem. Like, really. So what you're saying, fuckface, is that you think someone's trying to control your life because they disagree with your crazy ass political narratives. You're mad because people scrutinize the stupid, crazy shit that you say, despite the fact the stupid, crazy shit that you say is stupid and crazy. You immediately call people white supremacists, racist, and Nazis because it spares you from being accountable for your actions if you continuously blame them for the stupid shit you say and do. I mean, I know I've said this before, but if you ever get tired of living in the real world where people are going to hold you accountable for being a cunt to everyone, you can always find some Drano and just chug it down. Maybe get some razor blades and go high and low on your wrist until you hit the spot you need to. You can always just find some paracord and just hang yourself with it. I mean, realistically speaking, you're just a genuinely shitty person that no one has to deal with, and you're the fault of all your own problems.